Well, Roy Lundell hit a home run, and when the ball landed in these turkeys, they just started to gobble.
Is that right?
And
Bryce, you like a good story, don't you?
I do.
He likes a good gobble.
and these turkeys just went wild. Well, as the innings went on, every time we would go out and field, after we'd batted, we'd go out and field, Roy could gobble just like a turkey.
Is that right?
And he would run out there and he would stand and gobble. And every one of those turkeys, it was just the funniest thing you've ever heard. And that went on for 9 innings of the ball game.
Is that right?
But it was hilarious to watch.
Wow.
Listen to.
Joshua Hurst.
Good evening and welcome to Maple Mountain High School here for tonight's Spanish Fork 17 high school football broadcast. We're going to join the national anthem right now, currently in progress here on Spanish Fork 17. Well, the national anthem concluded, and we are about ready for some high school football here on a Friday night between the visiting Lehi Pioneers and the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. Ryan Pickens alongside Lincoln Brown. And right now, Lincoln, the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles, off to an 0-4 start, trying to get something going right now with that offense. But it doesn't really get any easier for Maple Mountain after tonight.
No, and it does not get easier tonight as well. You know, Lehi is coming on pretty strong, and they've had a pretty solid season so far, which is traditional for this team.
And it should be interesting to see tonight, maybe in for a treat right now. If you are Lehi, you have a quarterback in Cameron Cooper, a senior who right now looks to be having a chance to go to Washington State University and quarterback the Cougars. He's not going to be an easy task for the Maple Mountain defense tonight.
Not at all. Both of these teams coming off a pretty tough loss in the week before, actually. I think Lehi was a little surprised by what happened with Springville last week.
Yeah, the Red Devils have been one of those teams, had a lot of hype at the beginning of the year, but has kind of struggled in non-region play. But they'll be ready to go next week for the Region 8 opener, which for Springville and Maple Mountain, that's against one another.
Indeed. So this is going to be a tough contest, actually. It would have been interesting to hear what the coaches said to these teams following, you know, especially that loss that the Pioneers felt. But Maple Mountain's loss to Salem Hills, when it looked like they pretty much had it in the bag, and Salem Hills came back to take control of the second half.
And so we'll see Maple Mountain. One of the keys tonight to the game for Maple Mountain is making sure that they can play a complete football game. The Golden Eagles also need to establish more than just a running game. Hansley Pays had some very good success this year, but they're going to have to try to go back and throw the football a little bit, and they'll see whether they're going to do that tonight with Ethan Nelson or if it will be Cameron Dorney. Both took snaps and warm-ups, and so we'll see. We're just about set and ready to go for kickoff. It will be Marcus Cromanhook to put a foot into it for Maple Mountain. Back deep for Lehi at the bottom of your screen is Will Overstreet, Jackson Harward to the top of your screen, and we're underway from Maple Mountain, and Cromanhook does what he does best and puts that one about 5 yards deep into the end zone, and Lehi will come out and start out their 20-yard line with the quarterback, Cameron Cooper.
Now, being a little new to this, is I take it that Maple Mountain pretty much plays a pretty solid ground game, or are they put much in the air?
They've been trying to implement the pass a little bit more the last couple of weeks, and they've had some success with it, but for the most part it's been a heavy ground attack, which is the complete opposite of what you're going to see tonight from the team breaking huddle right now, the Lehi Pioneers. Cam and Cooper will do one thing. They're going to throw, and I believe throw a lot Lincoln tonight. We're going to see a lot of the pass.
All right, of course, they sustained a little bit of damage at the hands of Salem last week against Springville in terms of trying to face off against some defense. So we'll see if they got their offense together a little bit better. I don't know how well that throwing game worked for them last week.
Carson Manukin will be the deep back here for Lehi, who comes out in kind of a pistol formation. Cooper ready to go, sends a man in motion, and it will be Cooper kind of on the rollout, hits the tight end out of the flat. That is going to be Cade Moore, the wide receiver. Moore out across the 25 to about the 27-yard line, picks up a gain of about 7, and a nice, just easy kind of quarterback rollout there for Cam and Cooper.
Nice coverage, though, from Maple Mountain on that, being able to get their man, keeping him so far. Doesn't look like he managed to cross the down marker, though.
So it'll be 2nd down and 2, ball on the 28-yard line here for Lehi. Lehi 5A. Plays out of a region right now. It's a little bit new for the Pioneers as a lot of their region went up a classification. Here's Manukin off the other side. He's going to have a first down across the 30 to about the 35-yard line, the first down of the ball game, and the Pioneers on the move here early on.
Good night for football tonight, actually. Some of that ugly weather moving out early. Stands starting to fill up a little bit, and some of the haze is burned off, but it's about the perfect fall night, what you're looking for a game like this.
I thought for sure, with the way it was this morning when I went to work, I thought we're going to see rain and some more rain, which I thought maybe would have favored Maple Mountain with the passing game of Lehi. Man goes in motion for the Pioneers. Here's Cooper, throws up the screen. He's got it. And that is going to be out to number 83. That's Gentry Cox, the man who went motion. And Cox get to about the 41-yard line. That picks up a gain of about 6, brings up 2nd and 4. So you're not really seeing very kind of intricate level play right now from Lehi. You're seeing just a lot of basic screen pattern, just willing to take about 4 or 5 at a time.
Well, it looks like the quarterback is also trying to feel out the Eagles right now, get a little bit better idea of what he's up against for. He unleashes some serious air work out there.
2nd and 3. Man goes in motion. That's Cox again. Here's Manukin. He's on the carry, trying to win the corner. He will. Ethan Nelson, number 6, in there on the stop for Maple Mountain. As it was Nelson, and I believe that was going to be Wes Bastian who got there as well. Nelson maybe a little bit kind of shaken up after that one. It brings up another first down, though, for the Pioneers to the Maple Mountain 48-yard line. .10:08 to go here. First quarter, no score. The opening drive of the game here for the Lehi Pioneers. 2 receivers to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. And Cam and Cooper will work here from shotgun. Seems to be a little bit of a delay right now, looks like.
Got a few equipment problems down there, getting the helmet adjusted.
Now it looks like we're set and ready to go. 1st and 10, ball on the 48-yard line for Lehi. Back to throw, looking over the middle. That ball's going to be tipped and almost intercepted. Zach Robinson had an interception last week and had that one just come in and out of his hands, and would have been an early gift for Maple Mountain, but instead it's incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10, ball at 48.
Robinson standing in there at the outside linebacker spot for Maple Mountain at 6'1", 180. Almost had a pick 6 last week against the Skyhawks of Salem Hills, but there almost had his hand on one here early on. 9:51 to go, first quarter, and we'll see Lehi kind of spread the field here from the pistol formation. Sends a man in motion across the field. Cooper going to give it. Here's Manukin trying to get outside. That's not Manukin. Sorry, that is Jackson Harward, the senior, and he's going to lose a couple there on on 2nd down, and that will bring up a 3rd down, and we will.
Nice work on Harward, though, obviously capitalizing on that bobbling. Even though he bobbled the ball, it was a great almost interception, and Harward able to capitalize on some forward momentum on that.
So it'll be 3rd down and 16 coming up here for Lehi. The Pioneers now will have to take a shot downfield. We'll see here. Maple Mountain has Hansley Pay, number 5, and Braden Hatfield playing kind of the two safeties over the top. They're playing about 10 yards off the football here with 9:10 to go in the quarter. Cooper looking down the middle. Got a man, first down Lehi. That is going to be Cade Moore, and he's down to about the 36-yard line. And boy, if that's a little idea there, as we'll see our car guys instant replay on that one, that gives you a little look of what Cameron Cooper can do.
I think we're starting to see that air attack starting to come into play here now that the quarterback's found his rhythm on that.
That was one of the things that Maple Mountain I felt like had to do tonight, was make Cameron Cooper feel uncomfortable back there and maybe see if he could force kind of a rush on some of those throws. Two receivers to the top, two to the bottom. One man goes in motion, and it's going to be Mnookin trying to get the corner.
Flag down on the play.
He's going to get about 10. He gets popped at the end of the play by Braden Hatfield out of bounds, but there's going to be a flag, and I believe by the idea here from the signals, it's going to be against Lehi.
Mnookin was the ball carrier, but there's a flag down.
And we'll see here the official call.
That'll buy the Eagles a little bit of space, but judging on the play we saw before that, I don't know if that's enough to do them any good right now. But I think at this point you can take any footage you can get.
I believe it's going to be a hold against the Pioneers. And so that will move Lehi back 10 yards. And it will make it, again, it'll be first down. It'll be first and about 20, but the ball back on the 49-yard line here of Lehi. 8:36 to go, first quarter. No score between Maple Mountain and the Lehi Pioneers.
It's going to be first and 24.
That's all right. It's going to end up being first and about 24, not first and 20. So that one now moved back there to the 49-yard line. Lehi, we'll see here. We knew, coming in, Maple Mountain had a tough time last week, especially in the second half against the air attack from James Nelson. And so Cameron Cooper tonight is going to very much test this Maple Mountain secondary as to how they can play the pass game. Lehi trying to, looks like late getting, well, they're now going to get the play call, ran into the huddle here. The final tune-up for Maple Mountain heading into Region 8 play, which will start next Friday night against Springville. Should be a big game for Maple Mountain and for Springville. Here's a give. Mnookin trying to get outside. He's going to cut it back up into the middle. He'll get the 40-yard line. So a nice pickup of 9. And, boy, I tell you, first and 24 now turns into a second and about 15. That's just what you were looking for if you're Ed Larson and the Lehi Pioneers.
Yeah, indeed, a couple more plays like that, we might see some serious gains here. But what do you think the coach said in between this game and last game to get Lehi, to get Maple Mountain ready for this air attack? Obviously, they're not expecting it or having a little bit of trouble dealing with it.
Well, I think it's something interesting to kind of see here. If Maple Mountain we'll see Cooper try to set up the screen pass. They get it to Mnookin, and the play's blown up. The first Golden Eagle to get there, Carson K, number 74, and Jake Johnson getting there for Maple Mountain on a big play there to lose. It'll be a loss of about a yard, but right there, that one's setting up to be much more for the Lehi Pioneers. But Lincoln, getting back to your question, you know, the Maple Mountain coaching staff, they've been here before. They were 0-5 last year before making a 5-0 rest of the way, including a trip to the state semifinals. But I think it's a big kind of a culture idea where you don't want to start every year 0-5.
No, you don't, but then again, you know, you really start turning it on by the time you get to region play.
Cooper airing it out
Almost.
deep, in and out of the hands of Jackson Moody, number 14, as Moody laid out, and that one hit him square in the hands. He just couldn't bring it in. We'll see it here on the Car Guys instant replay. Great ball by Cameron Cooper.
Good coverage by Ethan Nelson, but he needed a little bit more gas there, otherwise he would have had some issues.
And 4th and 16 now. The offense staying on the field right now for Lehi. So the Pioneers look like they're going to roll the dice here with 6:48 to go in the first quarter, and they're going to take a shot here. They need about the 25-yard line to move the chains, and now Cameron Cooper will punt it. It will take a nice roll, but it will go too far into the end zone. And so about a nice drive for the Pioneers end up being a punt, and now Maple Mountain will see the Golden Eagles offense for the first time. And now the question's going to be, is it going to be Ethan Nelson or Cameron Dorney? It looks like it's going to be Cameron Dorney, who had a pretty good game against Salem Hills, had a very good first half. second half kind of struggled a little bit, but he was the MVP Sports MVP of the game last week.
So we'll see a little bit now about that ground game out of Maple Mountain, and we'll see how Lehigh responds to that. I'll be interested to see if they've been trying to work in any passing plays and if they take to the air at all.
So it'll be Hansley Pay, the lead back for Maple Mountain on 1st and 10. Ready to go here, Dorney from shotgun. He'll take a look over to the sideline and try to get some last-minute instruction. Dorney back to throw with some time. Now steps up, now being pressured, and he's going to put it up over the middle, and that one's going to be in and out of the hands, and it's going to be incomplete right there. Intended for his intended receiver, I believe was Branson Blood, number 14. That one incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10. There is a flag down, though, in the backfield.
On that first drive out of Lehigh, I was very impressed by the work that they did. Maple Mountain did on its defense. We'll see what happens in protecting the quarterback this time, because Lehigh obviously keeping that reputation for an aggressive offense, aggressive defense of their own right now.
Face mask penalty going there against the Pioneers. That will move at 15 yards. It will be a first down for Maple Mountain. And one of the things that we see a lot at the high school football level, Lincoln, you've been there calling games over in Uinta, is penalties can really start to
penalties
stack up.
Can change the game instantly, actually. I've seen games lost on nothing but penalties and getting ball walked back every other play.
So it'll be first down and 5. I guess it's only a 5-yard penalty in that instance. And now it will be Corey Huff and Pay in the backfield. Huff goes in motion to the bottom of your screen. Here's the option play. Pay mishandles it, picks it up. And then right there, it's going to go for a big loss of about 4 yards. Heads up play by the Pioneers. But right there, that could have been a lot worse for Maple Mountain.
That could have been a lot worse, especially the way Lehigh is playing their defense right now. Just where he bobbled that ball, actually. Couldn't quite get the handle on it, but they were right there to meet him as soon as he crossed the line. So it would have been, you're right, it could have been a lot worse. Could have resulted in a touchdown for Lehigh at this point.
2nd down and 9 coming up here for Maple Mountain as Corey Huff will check out. Marcus Williams, number 88, Marcus Johnson, number 88, checks into the ball game. He's in the slot there in the top of your screen at home.
2nd and 9, they're going to have to do some pretty fancy work here at this point to keep this drive alive.
Here's right up the middle. We saw this one go for a touchdown last week, and off to the races again is the quarterback, and it being drugged down, Cameron Dorney, and a flag comes in at about the 32-yard line, and Dorney took 180 yards last week to the end zone, and now we'll see here whether this play is going to stand. From where the flag came in, it sure looks like it's probably going to be against Lehi on the tackle.
It looked like the tackle. There's some issues on the tackle from this vantage point, but a good drive for that. I expect this is exactly what they needed to have happen. They needed to get that drive back, especially with that aggression down on the other end of the end zone there. So this is a really good turn of events for them, and way to break the tackle and pick up some really needed real estate.
It's going to be a face mask against Lehi. That's their 2nd face mask penalty. So they will tack on here another, I believe it's going to be another 5 yards tacked off to right around the 27-yard line here for Maple Mountain. So the Golden Eagles in business early on. We've seen that quarterback draw play work for the Golden Eagles, and Maple Mountain driving here with 5.5 to play in the first quarter.
Lehigh has always been a very, very aggressive team.
One safety playing over the top, maybe 8 yards off the line of scrimmage, going deep for Colin Reed. He's got it at the 5, and is he in? It's going to be close. They're going to mark him down at about the 1.
Nope.
And right there, Colin Reed, he's had a quiet last couple of weeks for Maple Mountain. And that just quick fade route right there works well as he gets a step on the defender, and he's able to go get it.
Now, from this vantage point, it looked like he broke the plane, so I guess that's why you hire referees.
And so Reed just barely, very close for sure, but now Maple Mountain will go kind of into the I formation. Hansley Pay in for a blocking back. Up at the fullback, it will be Corey Huff behind him. Here's the give. Hansley Pay trying to break the plane, and it's going to be short again. The Pioneers able to find a way to stop him inside the 1, and he's probably about a quarter of a yard. Can't be very far away from breaking the plane.
2nd and 1 with a little over 4.5 to go. They've got plenty to work with right now, and certainly get first blood.
So it'll be 2nd down and goal here. Trying to see, looking through the binoculars, it's probably about a quarter of a football across here to the pylon, or to the end line there. 2nd in less than probably inches or so. They call it 1. Dorney tried to get in. He fell, but they're going to give it to him. Touchdown, Maple Mountain. Cameron Dorney from half a yard out, and the Golden Eagles on the board, 6-0. The point after touchdown pending.
Well, you can see where patience and a little bit of luck from bad misbehavior from the opposing team can get you on the board.
So Marcus Cromanhook will come in to attempt the extra point. Cromanhook with a very good leg here for Maple Mountain. It will be Hansley Pay to hold.
You know, Coach Larson may want to have a word with his team at least at the half about this because, you know, you keep doing the face masks and things that we've seen. This can add up as the game goes on.
Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is through. And with 4:20 to play here in the first quarter, it's Maple Mountain 7, Lehi 0. You're watching high school football here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We want to thank the car guys, Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, Mikkel Christiansen and Wise, attorneys at law, and Dickerson Automotive for making this broadcast and our many other broadcasts possible here throughout the high school sports season. We also want to remind you that you can follow our pages on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram to keep up with the latest shows, live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Just look for Spanish Fork 17.
Now, I have been out of the state for a while, but I'm just kind of curious because it was traditional every once in a while UHSAA would shake a few things up, and you know schools would find themselves in divisions they've never been in before. When is the last time that they moved things around? Since it's been a while since I've been home.
So this year was reclassification. So this year starts a whole bunch of new regions as Cromanhook puts that one into the end zone. Some interesting changes here in the local area, especially now that region play starts next week. Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork, less than 5 minutes apart here in Spanish Fork. They're in two different regions, two different classifications. The regions here in Utah County, the way I've been kind of describing them is you take a line all the way from Payson up to Lehi, and you split schools in each town, and with the occasional exception of a few, but it's going to be an interesting realignment for sure, but
it's not always a problem for the schools on the Wasatch Front. You take a school like Judge Memorial can draft from just about anywhere, and it's not much of a game changer for them, although it looks like Lehi off to a rough drive.
That first one going incomplete. Cam and Cooper trying to find somebody there, but it looked like nobody was home, and it brings up a 2nd and 10 with 4:15 to go here in the first quarter. Maple Mountain, of course, still has the likes of Springville and Wasatch in their region, joined by the Provo Bulldogs and Skyridge Falcons up in Lehi this year, and also the Timpanogos Timberwolves, which when baseball comes along, that Maple Mountain Timpanogos series should be fun. The Timberwolves, the defending 4A state champions, as Manukin tries to turn the corner, and he will get out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line, picking up. That's about the 27, 28-yard line, picks up about 8.
Maybe a little bit of imagination on my part, but it looks like that last drive rattled Lehi just enough to throw them off their game.
That's one of the things going in that I thought for sure Maple Mountain needed to do is try to find some way to get to Cam and Cooper, something to rattle them early on.
Well, Maple Mountain's managed to establish some dominance early in the game. Let's hope that continues through the next 3 quarters.
So it's going to be 3rd and 4, ball on the 26-yard line, and Cameron Cooper back to throw, has a man in the flat, that's Overstreet. He'll have enough for a first down to about the 36-yard line. That's a first down for Lehi, and once again, the Pioneers don't really break open a lot of the razzle-dazzle. They just find the open man out in the flat.
It may just be because we've got region coming up next week. They're going to hold off a little bit and not unleash all of the medicine right away. But I still think Lehi's looking a little rattled after that last drive, and I think they can't quite get a handle on what they want to do right now. Not looking as aggressive in terms of their passing game, at least.
Here's Manukin right up the middle. He's trying to break free, gets into the secondary, and now he's got one man left to beat. At the 40, picks up a block towards the sideline, cuts it back, still on his feet at the 10, slips, and it's thrown out of bounds by Crowther at about the inside, about the 6-yard line. Carson Manukin off right there to the races, thrown out at the 8-yard line. And Lehi right back in business with just a play there, kind of just a cutback lane.
Well, I may have spoken a little bit too soon. Lehi may have been laying in wait, but then again, this is why they have such an intense reputation.
The Pioneers in a tough region here at the 5A classification with Olympus, West, and Highland from Salt Lake City, Murray, and Skyline for their 5 region games. Here's a give right up the middle. Going in is Harward, and he's in. Touchdown, Lehi. Jackson Harward able to get in from 8 yards out, and the Pioneers respond in about a 3-play drive.
Well, now this is interesting because if you look at the last game for these guys, both of them had some pretty decent first halves followed by some horrible second halves. It'll be interesting to see if they both manage to keep this momentum. We see two teams just trading punches, or if somebody falls apart by the time we get to the second half.
Wyatt Mosier will come in to kick the point after touchdown. This one up and through, and with 3:06 to go here in the quarter, and there's a penalty marker down on the field, so we'll see here who the penalty's against, as they're talking to Maple Mountain, so it sounds like it may be against Lehi, but we'll see here. Lehi's coming off the field, so it may be against Maple Mountain, and the Pioneers declined it. We'll see here. Personal foul. It's going to be, the try is going to be good, and it's going to be assessed on the kickoff, but what I didn't see was whether it was against Maple Mountain or Lehi.
I couldn't tell.
What I didn't see was the official just signaled the dead ball personal foul, and then, so we'll see, I guess see from depending on where they kick off from. And Lehi is coming out across the 40-yard line, so we'll of course have to just wait and see here. 3:06 to go in the first quarter. Both teams finding a way to get into the end zone, and right now it looks like it was against Maple Mountain. So now they will begin to march it off. So probably my guess was roughing the kicker or something like that on the extra point. Only thing I can think of. And now Wyatt Mosier will kick off from the Maple Mountain 45-yard line. So probably a good idea. This one's going in the end zone.
Yeah.
And probably starting on the 20.
Yeah, leave that alone. Let's see what you make starting on the 20 right now. But this is still going to be a rough place for them to start.
Hansley Pay, and back deep for Maple Mountain is Dawson Stokes to the top of your screen. Wyatt Mosier, number 99, there getting the ball teed up. And this one's going to be kind of a squib kick over towards the sideline. It's mishandled. Stokes picks it up at the 5. Spins, makes the man miss, and now he's going to be thrown around, and he's going to be down at about the 8-yard line. And so we thought maybe that we'd see the kickoff deep, but there, just kind of that nice squib kick worked out well for Lehi.
Yeah, it did, actually. That was a brilliant move, and it looked more like a rugby scrum down there than it did a tackle by the time they got done. So, I would like to see Maple Mountain pick that up a little bit better, but right now Lehi is just not only getting their hearts in the game and their foot and their arms, they're also getting their head in the game, too. That was a brilliant move, and Maple Mountain's going to have a tough start from right here.
So starting from their own 9-yard line, the Golden Eagles have had about a 98, 99-yard touchdown drive this year. It was a carry by Hansley Pay that set that up a couple of weeks ago against Spanish Fork. And here's Pay on first down, and this time he's going nowhere. He gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage to bring up 2nd and 10. Maple Mountain in the maroon tops and white pants. Lehi in the white tops and purple pants with the white helmets. Cameron Dorney right now leading the offense for the Golden Eagles. 2:32 to play first quarter, 7-7 your score here from Maple Mountain.
And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, particularly in high school ball where penalties can make or break you right now.
Right up the middle here, not much going on for Maple Mountain. Getting out there across the 10 to about the 14 was Hansley Pay, and that will bring up 3rd down and about 5.
Now, that's where the sins of your past come back to haunt you in the present right now, and they've started from a difficult spot.
You have to wonder if offensive coordinator Jerry Huffman may not look at some point to let Cameron Dorney take a shot deep. Lehi with the safeties and that, they're jamming the line of scrimmage. They're playing maybe 4 or 5 yards off the ball. And so I don't know if maybe at some point you get a favorable matchup like you got on the deep ball to Colin Reed, who almost got in the end zone. Have to wonder that deep ball might be there if you get a step on a guy.
Well, this may be the time to try it out, at least if nothing else, to get themselves some yardage to get down to the other end of the field at this point.
Ethan Nelson, the quarterback turned wide receiver, in motion, and now flags fly, and it will be offsides against Lehi. And that 5-yard penalty may, depending on the spot, give Maple Mountain a first down. It's going to be close, right on about the 19. It's going to be third and about a yard. Nope, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Maple Mountain. So the Golden Eagles, they're able to now kind of maybe look at changing the play call here on 1st and 10 from the 19 with 1:45 to go, first quarter.
They've got a little bit of room to work with now, and hopefully they will go back, try that air game on them.
Dorney from shotgun. He will take it right up the middle. Tries to bounce it outside. Looking to try to get the corner. He's really got nowhere, as coming up to make the tackle was Kaishawn Rust, who did a nice job there of not letting Dorney get the corner, and just kind of takes Dorney to the sideline. Used the sideline there as an extra defender.
He did, actually. And you know, you can see Lehi is starting to get a better feel for Maple Mountain right now.
So it'll be 2nd down and about 7 coming up. Maple Mountain able there to gain a couple of yards there. 3 to be exact, and it'll bring up 2nd and 7. Golden Eagles need about the 29.5-yard line or so here for a first down. 4 wide receivers, Dorney all by himself here in the backfield. Colin Reed in motion. There's the sweep. Reed tries to turn the corner. Reed will get a couple, but getting in there
is not going to be enough to get past the down marker.
Got to right around the 25-yard line, so setting up a 3rd and about 4. So manageable right now if you're Maple Mountain, as they try to see if they can convert here with 1 and 6 seconds to play in the quarter. 7-7 tie here on Friday night on Spanish Fork 17.
It'll be interesting to see at this point if they decide to go for it. It looks like I would have almost advised against it at this point. As deep as they are and as aggressive as Lehi has been, I think it's better to get it down to the other end of the end zone and start fresh.
Hansley Pay trying to turn the corner. The Pioneers are there, and Will Overstreet will just kind of pull on the jersey and throw him out of bounds. And that will bring up 4th down, and Maple Mountain, I'm pretty sure at this point, will have to punt.
Yeah, it's nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide, as the old song used to go.
It'll be Will Overstreet, number 7, the senior defensive back, as we see on the Car Guys instant replay. Not very much east and west right now for Maple Mountain. They may have to think about more going downhill with the running game tonight.
Yeah, I think it's time actually to see what you can put in the air at this point. It's worked a lot better for them so far than keeping it on the ground.
Kromenhoek gets the punt off. Overstreet comes up, makes the catch to the 45. Trying to get the corner outside, makes the man miss, and then it'll be pulled down from behind it around the 48-yard line. And now some extracurricular activity going on, and right in front of the official there will be a flag that comes in, and now we'll kind of see 2 Pioneers were right there back at around the 30-yard line, kind of pushing and shoving here some Golden Eagle. So we'll see. It will be personal foul against Maple Mountain. And so that will tack, I believe, a 15-yard penalty onto the end of the play. And that's the way we will, I believe, end the first quarter. We've played one complete here from Maple Mountain High School. It's the Golden Eagles 7, the Lehi Pioneers 7. You're watching high school football on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Start of the second quarter here on Spanish Fork 17. Ryan Pickens and Lincoln Brown here tonight. Chris Hurst is vacationing in I believe I can say this. He didn't tell me not to. Barcelona, Spain. So Chris will be back next week when we head down south on I-15 for the Salem Hill Skyhawks and the Spanish Fork Dons, as now they're tacking on. It looks like the personal foul there we originally saw before the end of the quarter is signaled against Maple Mountain, but
that's what I thought.
They just moved Lehi back, so the Pioneers will start back from the 32-yard line. So maybe they signaled the wrong way. And
the ref was thinking about them changing sides and got a little bit ahead of himself.
So right now, it's still a conversation here taking place between two of the officials. Lincoln, it's great to have you in here here tonight. Thoughts on the first half? Maple Mountain and Lehi both did some good things. What do they need to do better here in the second half, or second quarter, I mean?
Well, first of all, you got to take a look at Maple Mountain. You need to say, okay, boys, we need to change the offense a little bit. Let's not stick with the ground so much. Let's put it in the air a little bit more. Let's get a little bit tighter on the defense. As far as Lehi goes right now, they've done a pretty good job of picking apart what they see. They've done some good analysis, and it looks like it's paying off for them right now.
And Cameron Cooper goes down the field and hits that is Cade Moore, number 11, and Moore deep in right now to Maple Mountain territory. Moore got behind a couple of the Maple Mountain defensive backs and down to the 12-yard line, and right there we've seen Cameron Cooper. He can put just enough touch on the ball there. That's a nice ball he threw deep.
That was a beautiful shot, and quite frankly, that's what Maple Mountain needs to start doing, actually. The other thing they need to do is just take a moment, unlock, get their heads back in the game, because right now some penalties have cost them dear. Both teams need to focus on that a little bit. Hopefully the coaches during the halftime will have some words with them and say, okay, penalties are going to cost us if we don't take it down a notch.
Low snap, and here's Manukin trying to get outside, and getting there, I believe, was number 47, Caden Crowther, from his linebacker spot, was the last guy to get there, but Jackson Francis, another linebacker, kind of got there to be the first guy to trip him up. As the first real cool evening for high school football here of the season. Last couple of weeks, it's been nice, warm in the 80s or so, and Mother Nature in the last week decided to drop it down about 20 degrees or so, but we're not playing to the pouring down rain. I grew up in Oregon, so I'm used to it. But Cooper going to the end zone here, and out of the hands of an intended receiver. I believe that was Cade Moore, number 11 again, who had the big catch a moment ago, and there that one just comes out of his hands.
Yeah, especially at the high school level. You can get your emotions running away with you right now. Lehi with some really good momentum right now. Like I said, both teams need to cool off a little bit, get their heads back in the game, and I think, honestly, at this point, it is up in the air, but Lehi is doing really, really well. But this is why they've always had, for many years, such a reputation as a powerhouse.
It's going to be 3rd down and 9, ball on the 11-yard line. 4 wide receivers back to throw. Cooper steps up, throws over the middle, has a man in and out of the hands again. Ethan Nelson running stride for stride with Jackson Moody, and that will bring up 4th down, and that will, I believe, bring on Wyatt Mosier for a field goal try. This one will end up being somewhere around a 28-yard kick. The good news here, if you're Mosier, is it's pretty straight on, just a little towards the left hash. Cade Moore to hold, a low snap. They get it up. It looks good from here, and it's through.
He's put it.
And with 10:42 to play in the half here at Maple Mountain, the Lehi Pioneers have regained a 10-7 lead here on Maple Mountain with 10:42 to go here in the second quarter. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible each and every Friday night.
All right, well, your instant replay this evening brought to you by the Car Guys. And our MVP of the game is brought to you by MVP Sports. Lance Wilson, your State Farm insurance agent, there for a great assist like a good neighbor. Lance Wilson and State Farm, hey, they're right there. 2 Jack's Pizza. Well, they just got good pizza. Really, that is about the best thing you can say about that. Triple T, bringing you the pregame preview, and Dickerson Automotive for a great drive. And McCall Christiansen, Wise Attorneys at Law. A great defense makes a great offense. And I'll tell you what, Lehi's defense, Maple Mountain's defense starting to find it again, actually. You saw some really good work from them down there just before the field goal.
Stay tuned throughout the broadcast as we'll work our sponsors in when we have some great moments throughout this ball game. That one kickoff going deep into the back of the end zone, and it will come out to the 20-yard line for Cameron Dorney and the Golden Eagles. As right now, Cameron Dorney continuing to do some good things for Maple Mountain, kind of build off the first half he had a week ago. We've seen Ethan Nelson make some nice plays there after moving a little bit more to wide receiver. And boy, Ethan Nelson's a kid maybe we didn't expect to see a wide receiver when the season started, but has had a couple of nice plays the last couple of weeks for Maple Mountain.
And remember as well, you've got two coaches that are actually eyeballing their teams, getting ready to get into region play. So it'll be interesting next week to see what comes out of Maple Mountain, what they've learned from the preseason or from the non-region play, how many lessons they've taken away.
1st and 10, Dorney is going to keep it right up the middle, tries to get outside, but he'll get about 4 yards in there, and immediately, I believe, a flag comes in late. Dallin Green, the junior linebacker, there to make the stop, and there is indeed a penalty marker that came in right around the tackle, and we'll see here what the penalty is going to be. Not the cleanest game. It's going to be a personal foul against Lehi. Both teams kind of heavily penalized here in the first quarter, or in the first half. And that's something that as we get into the second half, with this game right now looking to be pretty close, a key penalty could kind of shift things a little bit.
This is interesting. I mean, it has been a while since I've covered high school sports, but I don't quite remember this level of penalties. And I don't know if it's the nature of the game or just the nature of the aggression on these two teams.
So it'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 39-yard line, 10:36 to go before the half. A 10-7 lead right now for for Lehi. And here's Cameron Dorney trying to get outside. That one incomplete, looking for Branson Blood in the flat. That will bring up 2nd down and 10. Ball on the 39 for the Golden Eagles. And that might have been a decision there, Lincoln, for the quarterback just to get rid of it because nothing was there.
It may be a good time for a time. I'll give Dorney a chance just to get his head back in the game, unlock a little bit, and got to see where he wants to go on this because he's looking a little rushed right now and maybe a little impulsive.
2nd down and 10, ball on the 39-yard line. 4 receivers, 2 to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. Lehi once again loading the box over Street, now dropping back to play center field. Here's Hansley Pay trying to get outside and getting there initially. Lincoln Bunker from the linebacker spot getting there and knocks Hansley Pay back a yard or two, and that will put Maple Mountain in 3rd and about 15.
This has been a difficult quarter for Maple Mountain right now. Not so much because of what's on the boards, because Lehi has played some very aggressive defense right now, and I can't say it enough. It's time for Maple Mountain to start putting something in the air.
And we'll see here if they can try to find a way to take advantage of that. Watch Colin Reed, the speedster, here on the play. Dorney rolling out, kind of pressured here from the backside, looking downfield, has a man, and that was going to be caught. Colin Reed's off to the end zone. 20 to the 10, and that's going to be a Maple Mountain touchdown. No flags. Dorney to Reed for about a 65-yard strike.
All right, that's to see the quarterback getting his head together. Didn't let that pressure get to him, found his man, and you know what? Here we are, right back into it. Two teams trading punches at this point.
And right there, a Lance Wilson State Farm assist to Cameron Dorney as he puts that ball right on the money. And Colin Reed able to find a way to take it all the way to the house. And Maple Mountain now on top 13 to 10 as Marcus Cromanhook will come on here for the extra point.
Maple Mountain's coach needs to sit down with them at the half and say, okay, guys, it's time not to play stupid football.
Hansley Pay has to pull it up, throws it back. Cromanhook is there, and that one almost came down with, but it goes incomplete. And a late penalty flag comes in, and I think it may have been Oakley Krumvita was the man right there in pass coverage. And we'll see here, Maple Mountain may get another shot at the point after touchdown.
They might actually, but hopefully they go for the PAT this time. But then again, that was a hard hit, and it sounded to me, and I may be wrong, but it sounded to me like it came right after the whistle.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was a personal foul, but it looks like it might have been offsetting personal fouls or something. At the end of the day, both teams coming off the field. 13-10 lead for Maple Mountain. And Lincoln, you said it earlier, would we get a game with some defense, or would we get just teams going back and forth? Right now, it looks like we're going to see a battle between Cameron Cooper and Cameron Dorney.
We are going to see, I don't want to call it too many touchdowns tonight, but you are going to see them trading punches. But this is where you got to say time for smart ball. This is not the time to let your temper get a hold of you. Take advantage of the other team's fouls right now because they're racking them up. Obviously, this game, I believe at this point, maybe Maple Mountains to lose if they can keep their head in the game.
And so right now, if you're Lehi and you're head coach Ed Larson, what are you saying right now to your guys? Because it might have been easy to look at Maple Mountain and say, hey, they're off to an 0-4 start. This is a game that we can come in and just maybe give a half effort and we can win. What do you say right now to Lehi to get them maybe going a little bit better?
I'm going to tell the Pioneers to step up their coverage a little bit more and, for crying out loud, develop an allergy to those flags. Flags are costing them.
So the penalty was against Lehi. It was enforced on the kickoff since it was after the play. So no attempt on the PAT. Cromanhook will kick now from the 45 of Lehi. And this one will probably go back to the track. They're going to do the onside kick. Loose football. And the question is, who got it? And Maple Mountain is trying to say that they have it, as they have just a scrum at the bottom. And Maple Mountain recovers the onside kick. So Brad Burtonshaw takes a chance, and it pays off. Golden Eagle football, they're right back in business.
This is smart football right now. This is the way you want to play. They're not getting too greedy right now, but they are using their heads at this point.
Jesse Harness coming up with the recovery for Maple Mountain, and the Golden Eagles now back into work at the Lehi 32. 13-10 in favor of, the 33-yard lines where they're going to officially mark it. Really, there's nothing to lose there with taking a shot with the onside kick.
No, it was absolutely a brilliant move. Reminiscent to what Lehi did earlier with the squib kick, so it's worked out really well for him.
Here's Dorney right up the middle, trying to surge through the second layer of defense, and Cameron Dorney able to find a way to get 5.
They picked up some good real estate there. Patience and the pass. If Maple Mountain can stay patient and they can get the pass going, it's going to turn into another successful drive for them right now.
2nd down and 5. Ball moves down to the 28-yard line. Plenty of time before halftime here. About 9 minutes or so on the game clock as the lights beginning to come on here at Maple Mountain. A pretty good-sized crowd has came out tonight and braved the first really fall weather here at this very late summer contest. Back to throw, taking a shot down the field, has a man again, laying out and making the catch inside the 5 is going to be Colin Reed again. So Dorney back to Reed. Maple Mountain's inside the 5, and Lincoln, as you said, Maple Mountain seeing some success just throwing it down the field.
That's exactly it right now. Hopefully they're starting to figure out, at least for the Maple Mountain side, that running the ball is not working the way it should. Lehi's coverage is way too good on the run game, but they're weak on the pass game, which kind of surprises me out of this team.
It'll be 1st and goal from the 3. The Golden Eagles have Corey Huff and Hansley Pay in the game as the fullback and the upback. Here's the give. Hansley Pay trying to find the corner. He's going to get down to about the 1. So he'll gain, maybe 1.5. Gets a yard and a half. It will bring up 2nd and about 1. 2nd and goal from the 1, I should say.
And the crowd from Maple Mountain certainly getting into this game and making me really hope that the engineers did a good job on the stands in the press box.
2nd down and 1. Or 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line here. Back under center is going to be, here's the give. Huff trying to get into the end zone, and he's
Looks
in.
Like he found the pay dirt.
Touchdown, Maple Mountain. The Golden Eagles are on the board again. Back-to-back touchdown drives. The Dickerson Automotive drive of the game right there. Nice job there, Maple Mountain, finding a way now to move the football, and they're putting points up.
You may have made a great point. I think you did make a great point. I think we're starting to see it. Lehi came into this game probably feeling a little superior, looking at the non-region scores on this. Maybe they didn't intend to bring their A game, but even from just a point of pride, it may be time for Pioneers to step that up a little bit.
Marcus Cromanhook on. We'll see if Maple Mountain can do a better job on this extra point. The snap is good. The hold is good. Cromanhook puts it through, and with 7:55 to go before half, Maple Mountain leading the Lehi Pioneers 20-10 here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast and many other broadcasts possible. We got Mikkel Christiansen and Wise, attorneys at law. Great defensive play makes for a great offense. Dickerson Automotive, a great drive as we go throughout the ball game tonight. Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing for our Triple T keys to the game. 2 Jack's Pizza, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance for the Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance Great Assist. MVP Sports, the MVP of the game, coming up at the conclusion of our broadcast tonight. And the Car Guys for the Car Guys Instant Replay. And with 7:55 to go here before halftime, Lehi all of a sudden needing to try to find something quick. The Pioneers can put up points in a hurry, but we saw them put up plenty in their Week 1 game against the Alta Hawks.
And if Lehi doesn't get the penalties together, they may need to call Mikkel, Chris Jansen, and Wise.
Ready to go back deep. Here's the return. That's Overstreet trying to get outside, and he's going to get out to about the 24-yard line. Believe that was Will Overstreet on the carry. We've seen Overstreet all over the field tonight for the Lehi Pioneers. And Cameron Cooper now having to try to go back to work here with this Lehi with the Pioneers offense. And right now, if you're a Maple Mountain fan at home, though, you've seen the Golden Eagles the last couple of weeks get off to great starts in the first half. And the second half, though, for the Golden Eagles has been a whole different animal.
And, Maple Mountain has had some heartbreaking losses here, particularly the loss to Uinta, my old stomping grounds. Uinta's had some trouble over the years. Not trouble, but swapping out coaches now and again. So
Carson Manukin into the secondary, breaks the tackle and almost gets free again. Stetson Schumann and Ethan Nelson getting there, but Manukin there just doing a nice job of being shifty and getting a nice gain there for Lehi, and they've had some good success tonight with Carson Manukin.
What you're seeing is 2 teams finding their rhythm. If you tuned in tonight to SF-17, it's a great night to do so because you're catching one heck of a football game right now. I wouldn't be surprised on a drive like this. It may be who's left standing by the time the fourth quarter ends.
Jackson Harward checks in as the running back. Cooper back to throw, looking over the middle. That one incomplete. He was looking over the middle for Cade Moore, and that one will be incomplete. It brings up 2nd and 10.
Maple Mountain's playing, like I said, solid defense, not really showboat defense, not really flashy defense, but they got their heads in the game. They're playing good, solid defense tonight.
2nd down and 10, ball on the 40-yard line. Lehi's been very content to huddle and take their time here with the play clock. We saw last week Salem Hills here on Spanish Fork 17. The Skyhawks really found a way at times to go tempo against Maple Mountain, and that gave the Golden Eagles some trouble. Cameron Cooper back to throw with some time, looking down the field, looking back, and now pressured from behind. Throws it late and finds a man open down on the sideline. Making a man miss and taking it in is Cade Moore. Touchdown, Lehi. And that is a great way for Cameron Cooper to, right there, it looked like he didn't have very much, but he was just patient in finding Cade Moore, and Moore did the rest.
Moore did a great job on that. And we'll see what happens when Maple Mountain's offense comes back on the field. But here again, two teams settling down. You had a little bit of a wild first quarter there, but they're starting to settle down and find their rhythm. Like I said, this may just be a matter of who's the last man standing.
And really, this is a Lehi football team that I don't really want to get in a scoring competition with.
No.
And that one up and good. And with 7:03 to play in the half, the Lehi Pioneers score again. It's 20-17 Maple Mountain. And Lincoln, when we take a look at this one right now, both teams, right now, you're happy if you're Maple Mountain that you're seeing some offense. You're happy if you're Lehi, you're seeing some offense. But if you're Brad Burtenshaw, the defensive coordinator for Maple Mountain, and the defensive coordinator for Lehi, Joseph Haymore, you have to be kind of going a little nuts right now.
I suspect there'll be some abrupt conversations come Monday morning, particularly as we get into region play.
Everything right now, and you bring up a good point, because with the way the alignment here in the state of Utah is, region play is what matters for qualification for state. You saw Maple Mountain last year go 0-5, and they rip off 4 straight wins in region play, and hey, they end up going to the state semifinals. So really your goal right now is to finish in a playoff spot. That one's going to be a short kick, and it's going to be pulled out here by Colin Reed. And sorry, that's Hansley Pay, and Pay gets across the 20-yard line as Maple Mountain tried the reverse on the return, and the Golden Eagles will come out and start their next possession with 6:55 to go before halftime. This is a Lehi team that won their opener of the year. They won at Alta in double overtime. by a final score of 72-66. I'm not talking about the basketball score. I'm talking about the football score right there in that one. That one was a game that we got done with Spanish Fork and Ridgeline from Logan. And then I was able to drive back home about 15 minutes up the road and still have time to watch an hour or two. Taking a shot for Colin Reed. That one
good.
Incomplete. Threw it too far on the sideline. But again, Colin Reed's been able to get a step all night on the corner. And it's been Dorney to Reed has been provided 2 of the big plays on 2 touchdown drives. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Maple Mountain as we approach halftime. Coming up at the half here on Spanish Fork 17, we'll have the drill team and cheerleaders here at Maple Mountain High School, and we may have band. I see them, but I don't think they'll be performing at the half. So stay tuned here on Spanish Fork 17. Here's the quick screen. That one goes incomplete. Tried to hit a man down the slot, and that will bring up 3rd down and 10. So that's something to kind of keep in mind.
Lehigh is definitely pressing the defense a lot more than they have been, so the quarterback needs to, these are 2 incompletes that he's thrown. Once again, take a minute. You're up by 3 right now. We've got about 6 minutes, a little over 6 minutes to go left in the quarter. Take a minute in your huddle, get yourself, go to your happy place if nothing else. Get ready to come back. But Lehigh is starting to figure out, what's going on with Maple Mountain's passing.
And for Cameron Dorney, that clock in his head right now has to still be kind of settling in as he each week kind of gets better and makes some improvements. Dorney back to throw, taking a shot deep. Colin Reed falls, and that pass is picked off. Right there was Kaishawn Rust on the interception. Colin Reed would have had a shot to make a play on it, but as we'll see on the Car Guys instant replay, that field is slick, and Reed, I think, hit one of the slick spots.
But Lehigh also anticipating that pass to the corner. Well, they were there waiting by the time it got there.
So the Pioneers now in prime field position to regain the lead here before half. They'll start on the Maple Mountain side of the field here on the 45-yard line with Cam and Cooper and company about ready to take the field here.
This is time for Maple Mountain's patient defense.
Next weekend here on Spanish Fork 17, we'll be making the trek down to Salem Hills. It will be one of our last couple road games of the year, as that one's going to be a bad snap picked up by Manukin. He tries to get around the sideline, and he'll have enough for a 1st down. And Carson Manukin there making something out of nothing as he gets inside the 40-yard line. Down to about the 32-yard line. That will be good for a 1st down. As next week, Spanish Fork heads to Salem in what will be a very key contest in the Region 10 race. Salem Hill's not an easy start to Region 10 by playing Spanish Fork, and then they get Orem week 2, and really with the way those 3 teams are playing, it will probably be one of those 3 that wins Region 10. Whistles blow. We'll have a penalty marker come down here, and we'll see here who the penalty is going to be. Likely a false start against Lehi, and we'll get an illegal procedure as they call it at the high school level, and that will move the Pioneers back 5 on 1st down.
It's going to be 1st and 15.
6:14 to play before halftime. 20-17. Plenty of offense here in the first half. If you like a game full of offense, I don't think the offenses are going to slow down anytime soon. Hopefully not. We're in for a classic here tonight at Maple Mountain to kick off the weekend. 1st and 15. Ball on the 37-yard line. Cooper back to throw, looking down the middle in the slot. That one's going to be caught, and that's complete to Gentry Cox. And Cox again able to pick up about maybe 7 or so on the play. It'll be bring up 3rd and about 6 or so. Now, Lehigh has been willing to take their time, not running a lot of up-tempo offense. They've just taken their time, been willing and just comfortable right now to kind of wait here. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the 29-yard line.
And for a team like Lehigh, 20-17 going into the half is not a time to panic. This is nothing for a team like Lehigh to worry about.
Right up the middle, Carson Manukin breaks into the secondary down to the 10-yard line. And he will get down to, well, officially the 11. Good enough for a Lehi first down. Hey, Carson Manukin's given this Maple Mountain defense some trouble there. He's had some very open gaps. And that's one thing, if you focused a lot on the Lehi passing game, Lincoln, them dropping in the running game might be a good change of pace if you're the Lehi Pioneers.
Lehi is showing a lot of versatility in this game, and that's kind of what's made them such a good team over the years, is their ability to go back and forth like that. On the other hand, Maple Mountain is showing some strong defense.
Manukin gets hit from the side there by Stetson Schumann. Some Ethan Nelson blocked all the way about 7 yards out of bounds by one of the offensive linemen for Lehi. That was number 54, Jace Anderson. Blocking a little bit extended there the play, and a loss of 1 there on the play by Manukin. Nice job by Schumann for Maple Mountain to get there.
Yeah, plenty of time on the clock, 2nd and 11. You know, there's still a lot to work with here, so you're going to see Lehi keeping that slow and easy pace.
It's the sort of time, if you're Maple Mountain, you really need a turnover, something to kind of get the crowd back into it. Cooper all by himself right now, ready to throw. Looking towards the end zone, has a man, but overthrew him towards the sideline, trying to find, that was Harward, the intended wide receiver. We've seen a lot of Harward out of the, sorry, that was Jackson Moody, the intended receiver, number 14. We haven't seen a lot of the lone back set here with just Cam and Cooper. They've really tried to always have Manukin or Harward in the backfield. Now bring up 3rd and 11. Definitely a passing situation here for the Pioneers. And they will once again have, believe that's Manukin to the left right now of Cooper. Back to throw with some time. Cooper taking a shot. Now it's going to be incomplete, batted away. And that brings up 4th down. And now decision time right here if you're head coach Ed Larson in his 4th year at the helm of Lehi, and it looks like he will take the field goal try here for an opportunity to tie the ball game right here. It will be Wyatt Mosier, number 99, the senior kicker, who's 1 for 1 in this ball game on field goal attempts. This one will come from about 34 yards out, and the kick is up, and looks good. No, it's not. It looks like he pushed it wide to the right. And Maple Mountain able to bend but not break. They catch a big break there with 4:06 to go before half. Maple Mountain has an opportunity here, Lincoln, where really if they can have a drive, you kind of get the feeling here they can use 3 minutes off that clock, find a way to score. They really want that momentum going into the halftime locker room.
This is where you go back to what Lehi was doing. You know, this is a good time right now for Maple Mountain to do a combination of an end and a pass, get themselves in good scoring position. Here again, take your time. Let's not let the stupid foul set you back, because right now, Maple Mountain can't afford anything like that.
4 wide receivers. Ethan Nelson, number 6, to the far bottom of your screen. Corey Huff, the lone back. Branson Blood goes in motion. Here's the give. They drop it off here to the back on kind of the draw play. And it was Hensley Pay, number 5 on the carry. Pay will get right there about 4 yards on first down. Brings up a 2nd and 6, and the clock will tick under 4 minutes before the half.
If nothing else, you know, use that ground game to get you. If nothing else, get within field goal distance.
2nd down and 6, ball on the 24-yard line. For Maple Mountain, Marcus Kromenhoek has a good leg. You're probably thinking if you can get the 30-yard line, you'd have a shot. Trying to get outside. Hensley Pace got one man to beat. Lowers his head. He'll get the first down across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. A nice pickup right there as Hensley Pay just lowers his head. We'll see that one on the Car Guys instant replay. Crumveda right there just kind of gets mowed over. Nice job there by Overstreet to come back up over the top. Overstreet there really the reason why I think that tackle got made. Hensley Pay was ready just to bulldoze him. 1st and 10, ball on the 32-yard line. 3:09 to go before the halftime. Dorney trying to get outside. Overstreet and company trying to chase him. Dorney will get towards the sideline. He'll be ushered out of bounds by Kaishawn Rust. And that will bring up another 2nd down play.
Walked into a wall of Pioneers at that point. That was a tough run for him.
Second and 9.
A lot of effort there by Cameron Dorney for not a lot of yards. Maple Mountain has a nice advantage here with having all 3 timeouts, so they don't have to take some shots down the field here. They can just run their offense and use some clock here before half. Second and 9, Dorney from shotgun. He will roll out, looking down the field, stops now, picks up, and he is going to be dropped back in the backfield. Our first 2 Jacks Pizza, 2 Jacks sack, as getting there, I believe, was number 76, Mason Hope.
Making the tackle was Erickson.
Sorry, it was Hayden Erickson getting in there on the tackle. Kennedy in there as well on the sack. And that will bring up 3rd and 24. And now, if you're Maple Mountain, your only shot really at getting the first down is thrown over the top.
Yeah. And at this point, it may just simply be, let's hold them where we can, maybe get a good punt and keep them at that end of the field until we can run the clock off at 2:18 left in the half.
So we'll see the Golden Eagles spread the field here. The single back is Hansley Pay. Dorney from shotgun will drop back to throw. He'll drop it off. Here's Pay out of the backfield to 20. Makes the man miss the 25. Gets tripped up, ended at about the 32-yard line, and gets back to about the original line of scrimmage, but will be about 9 yards shy of the marker, and that brings up 4th down. Hansley Page, you see on the Car Guys instant replay there, Lincoln. That tackle there, he just gets upended, somersaulted.
Lehi takes a timeout.
And the Pioneers will use a timeout with 1:58. That kind of gives you the idea here that Ed Larson wants to hold some clock here to try to play for a score with 1:58 to play here in the half.
Sierra Dental, Maple Mountain scores.
Coming up at halftime, we will have the halftime festivities here. We'll recheck our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game. And then we will check some scores from throughout the valley here tonight, and then get our thoughts and preview the second half of high school football here as we get really to the halfway point of our season. It's hard to believe we are so deep into the season. This is game number 5. There's 5 more after tonight. And the nice thing is, we've generally had a game that's always fallen on like a Wednesday or Thursday night. We don't. We have them all on Fridays this year, which will be kind of nice. The season will end. The next 3 weeks will be with the Spanish Fork Dons, and the last 2 will be back with these Maple Mountain Golden Eagles, including their final game of the year, which I believe is on the road at Timpanogos. And a penalty here will move the Golden Eagles back about 5, which will give Will Overstreet some more room to work with, and also allow Lehi into a position here to try to see if they can get closer to field goal range. 1:58, and with the way that offense is playing, Lincoln, they're not going to need a lot.
No, Lehi is taking advantage of a lot of things here, and this is about all they need right now at this point.
They're
Depending
coming.
on what happens with it.
They're coming on the block. Overstreet picks it up, and Overstreet will be dropped immediately at the 45-yard line. Right there.
And he was right there. Conscious effort by the Maple Mountain defense to be on top of him right now. You know, they understand what's at stake at this very moment right now. We could see the ball game change appreciably here in the next minute and 50 seconds.
So Lehi took the football to open up the ball game. So Maple Mountain gets possession to start the second half, which could be very critical in the fact that for Lehi right now, they are definitely looking to try to get in the end zone and get some points. But the last thing you want to do if you're the Pioneers here is take any sort of a turnover or anything that gives Maple Mountain the football another chance to score.
Well, and I don't think they're going to do that, actually. I expect Lehi to play this a little conservatively here with 1:49 to go.
4 receivers right now. Manukin the deep back, and back to throw. It's going to be Cooper. Rolling out, being chased, has plenty of time. Great protection, takes a shot in a double coverage and overthrows the intended wide receiver. That was looking for Jackson Harward, number 17, downfield. He was double covered, but right there, Lehi willing to take a shot on first down.
Well, and here again, they should have taken a little bit more time, got a little bit further down the field on that one. I think they're starting to feel the noose just a tiny bit here, which is really premature at this stage in the game.
2nd and 10, ball on their own 45-yard line, 1:39, as Lehi will run the play in from a sideline. Not something you see a ton anymore at the high school level. A lot of things have gone to signals or play cards that a team just looks over from the field. Cooper back to throw. Looking, the out route has a man. That's Moore. Moore's going to make a spin move, but it's going to be tackled just short of the marker. He's going to be about half a yard shy of the marker, and that's going to bring up third and maybe about a yard.
Somebody's saying he got it because they're showing 1st and 10 right here, so he may have.
And they will. They'll make
they've given it down.
The late change there is the chain gang on the other side of the field will get set. Now they're going to try. They're going to have to stop the clock here to set the chains. And I wonder right now if you're Ed Larson, if you're not going to ask them to see, hey, if they need to put another second or two back on the clock. We saw that last week in the Maple Mountain Salem Hills game where we had about 2 or 3 adjustments to the clock. And that's exactly what it looks like they're going to do. I think the official just went over to Brad Burtonshaw to go up and have them, and they'll put it back to 1:25, so they'll add about 6 seconds back to the game clock here. Still some more conversation right now taking place between the two officials as they want to try to get this one, especially in a close ball game like this. Lincoln, you want to make sure you get calls like these correct.
Exactly. 2017 on about the 45 with just under a minute 30 to go. 1:25 left in the half right now.
1st and 10, ball on the 45-yard line. Ready to go here, Lehi and Maple Mountain. Golden Eagles leading this one 20-17 before halftime. Cooper from shotgun will drop back to throw, setting up the screen pass. They get it out to Manukin, and he is hit immediately and dropped. Stetson Schumann, number 31, I believe, was the first Golden Eagle to get there. Just on the quick screen pass. Nice job by Maple Mountain to stay at home. Right now, the clock will begin to run once they get everything set. They're going to say it looks like he actually got out of bounds to stop the clock. 2nd and 8. Cooper back to throw. Looking intermediate route. Has the sideline. That's going to be caught. And that is going to be number 14. That's Jackson Moody. And Moody will have enough to move the chains there. And most importantly there, gets out of bounds. Gets to the 34-yard line. 1:09 to play here before halftime. Lehi driving right now, right before the half. They missed a field goal on their last possession that would have tied the ball game. They missed it wide right. 3 receivers go to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. That's Harvard down at the very bottom of your screen. Cooper back to throw with some time, looking down the seam, has a man. Flag comes in, though, back at the line of scrimmage. So they will have it down to the 10-yard line as getting, I believe that was Moore once again, who's having a heck of a ball game for Lehi, but this looks like it's in the direction of holding against Lehi. The last penalty right there that you wanted was something against Lehi, but we'll see as they sort it out. You can see on your screen at home a couple of the officials talking about neither team really moving right now. I think they both think it was against one another, but one of the officials right now pointing, it looks like against Maple Mountain. So we're going to get a hold against Lehi. Personal foul, Maple Mountain. I believe that will offset the penalties, and I believe they'll replay the... Are they going to replay the down? Yep, they'll replay first down. I think the referee was about to give Lehi a first down, and then I think our public address announcer was on top of that one. They'll repeat the down, and 1:02 to go here before halftime. 1st and 10 from the 34. Clock will begin to run under a minute. 4 wide receivers. Manukin ready to go. Moore back to, or sorry, not Moore. It's Cooper with the screen pass, and a man's loose again for Lehi. That was a simple pass to Moore, and Moore gets a first down to the 21. Again, nothing that really kind of breaks open the playbook there, just a simple screen.
And Lehi takes a timeout.
And the Pioneers call a timeout with 46 ticks to go before halftime. So 46 seconds here right now to go before halftime here Maple Mountain right now driving, trying to see what they can do right now to get things going here. Golden Eagles trying to find a way to go. 46 seconds to play here before the end of the half right here. Coming up at halftime here on Spanish Fork 17, we'll have the drill team. We'll have some of the other halftime festivities here for you at Maple Mountain. We'll check some of those important scores throughout the valley and get everybody ready to go for what should be a fun matchup next week as Spanish Fork and Salem Hills get ready to go. It's not the Dogs Region 10 opener. They won their Region 10 opener last week over at Uinta. And then next week it will actually be the Region 8 opener for the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. They will take on Springville in what will be a very fun and exciting ball game from Springville High School next week. That one will not be here on Spanish Fork 17. We'll be down south a little bit further in Salem. 46.4 on the game clock here, 20-17 in favor of Lehi. In favor of Maple Mountain. For some reason, I'm mixing up Maple Mountain and Lehi tonight. Pioneers on the door, about ready to score. 4 receivers on the play. Cooper from shotgun, back to throw with some time, taking a shot towards the end zone. Has a man making the catch in the end zone. And did he hold on? He did. Touchdown, Lehi. It was once again Cade Moore, the senior wide receiver, who went up and got it. And Moore just did a nice job there beating Hensley Pay on the flag route to the corner. And Lehi takes the lead with 40 seconds to play. As we see on the Car Guys instant replay, the extra point will be Wyatt Mosher on the senior place kicker. Kick is up. It's a line drive kick, and it's through. And with 40.3 to play before halftime, Lehi regains a 24-20 lead right now. Maple Mountain trying to hang on here before halftime, but now Maple Mountain with some work to do here. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We want to thank Mikkel Christiansen Wise, attorneys at law, Dickerson Automotive, Triple T Heating and Cooling and Plumbing, 2 Jack's Pizza, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, and of course the Car Guys. We thank them for making these broadcasts each and every Friday night and, well, throughout the rest of our high school sports season, which, well, when football's over, we'll head back indoors for basketball, which should be fun, and then we'll go back outdoors with baseball. And so, of course, the baseball season should be another fun one. Both Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork making some deep runs. Basketball, Maple Mountain made a nice run last year into the state tournament. So with 40.3 to go, it will be Stokes, and I believe that's Hensley Pay, number 5, back deep. Ready to put a foot into it. It's Mosier, and that's going to be a low line drive kick. Hensley Pay takes it from the 4. No reverse on the return. Pay across the 20 to about the 25-yard line. Breaks free. Look out. Pay to the corner. Trying to now lowers his shoulder and gets brought down about the 46-yard line. Hensley Pay was in the middle of a big kind of herd of Pioneers and tried to bust it outside. He did a nice job of finding a way to get outside, but right there, just one man left to beat, and there's a penalty flag down, and I believe from the way Maple Mountain's reacting, this one's going to be against the Golden Eagles. As you see that quick spin move, got Pay out into the open, and a nice job there by Lehi of containing, making Pay instead of allowing him to get to the outside there. They forced him back to the inside and kind of slowed him down. So we'll have a dead ball personal foul against Maple Mountain. Both teams getting a lot of personal foul penalties here in the first half. That will move it back to the 32-yard line with 28 seconds. The tough part with that, if you're Maple Mountain, is instead of being about the 45-yard line, only having about 25 yards to go to get a good look at a field goal, now you have about 30 to 40 yards to go. Single back set, ready to go. Here's the give on first down. Hensley Pay tries to break through one, and he won't, and he'll get a couple of yards. As Hensley Pay has really kind of been kept quiet tonight, and I believe we have a timeout being called as Lehi thought the ball came out, and what they did, they had picked up the ball and they were going all the way to the end zone. And I believe Maple Mountain using their first charge timeout at the half here. Or first charge timeout of the half here on Spanish Fork 17, as right now Maple Mountain and Lehi, it's a 24-20 lead. We want to remind you to follow our pages on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram to keep up with the latest shows, live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. Right here, Maple Mountain offensive coordinator Jerry Huffman in the middle there of that pile right there. The middle of that huddle, trying to get that offense ready to go here. 21.7 on the clock. Maple Mountain with an opportunity to drive, a chance to see if they can get it in the end zone. Or maybe at least right now, what you may be trying to do if you're Maple Mountain is set up a chance to see Marcus Kromenhoek take a shot at maybe a 30-yard field goal or something right here, just to have a shot to see here what he can do. You're going to have to hurry with 21.7 here on the game clock. 4 wide receivers set here for the quarterback Dorney. Lehi looks like they jumped, and here's a penalty flag that comes in. The judge from the sideline there saying, yep, offsides against Lehi. That will move the marker of 5 yards, and if you're Maple Mountain right there, you'll take the extra 5 yards there with 21.7. Not a very clean first half on either side when it comes to penalties. I would imagine that issue will be addressed by both head coaches in the halftime locker room.
But on the plus side, though, they've been able to, each team has made really good use of this one's penalties on this.
Dorney throws that pass, is going to be nearly intercepted. Lincoln Bunker makes a diving attempt for it, but couldn't come up for it. I believe the intended receiver there was Marcus Johnson, number 88, who almost came up with he was the receiver in the vicinity there, but Dorney, I think, just couldn't quite get enough on it. Maybe the ball slipped out of his hands. That's one thing with the amount of rain that did fall down there on the field and a lot of the walkways here. It seemed to be pretty dry for the most part, but the field definitely tonight, you've seen some soft spots. A lot of the coaches were walking the field a couple hours before kick as Dorney back to throw, looking in the flat, has a man, that's a first down. Colin Reed makes one man miss. Stiff arms, breaks another tackle into the open field across the 40. Reed is still on his feet down inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. The ball comes out at the end. Lehi saying they have it. No official signal yet, and I believe they were going to mark the ball down, but they're going to say fumble, and it's going to be, it looks like Lehi football with 4.6 on the clock. So Colin Reed loses it, and a nice job there by the Lehi Pioneers to secure a lead before the halftime locker room.
And that was really unfortunate because that set up Maple Mountain for a really great play after that. But at this point, it looks like Lehi's going to hang on to it until we get back to the third quarter right now. But that was, just a very unfortunate moment for Maple Mountain right now. That really could have put them in a good spot going into the halftime.
You think of it, Maple Mountain probably then has to bring on Marcus Kromenhoek for the field goal, which is fine. Maple Mountain would have probably taken a Kromenhoek field goal there before the end of the halftime locker room to at least cut within one. However, right now, Maple Mountain trying to see if they can. Now, you would imagine here, Lehi has a couple of things they can do. They could just take a knee, but the Pioneers have a play that they ran against Alta that was, in my mind, just sheer brilliance. It worked out perfect. The one guy we haven't seen, though, tonight on the field for Lehi, Dallin Holker, number 5, ran a play earlier on in the season. It was a kind of a hook and ladder play in that 72-66 win against Alta. And it came at a time where Lehi was down, trying to come from behind to force overtime. And they ran this hook and ladder play from right around this part of the field. Now, we haven't seen Holker. I don't know if he's not playing tonight for Lehi, but maybe see a hook and ladder sort of situation right here. Looking over the middle, they try to set it up, and it goes incomplete, or it goes complete to Moore, but that will end the first half. I think that's what they were trying to set up there. just from the looks with the other guy coming on the pitch. But we've reached halftime here at Maple Mountain. It's Lehigh 24, Maple Mountain 20. You're watching high school football on Spanish Fork 17. We'll take a break. We got the halftime show coming up next on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Come to Dickerson Automotive for all your car repair and maintenance needs. Now is a great time to make sure your car is ready for these cold winter months. We take the time to get to know you and your car to give you peace of mind. Dickerson Automotive, located way north on Main in Spanish Fork.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Well, back here at halftime at Maple Mountain High School, a 24-20 lead for the visiting Lehigh Pioneers. We're going to join the halftime show right now. We got the Maple Mountain Elevays for you right now. They have taken the field here at halftime.
And now please welcome to the field the Maple Mountain High School Ski Squad. job, ladies. Thank you so much. We'd also like to thank the Lehi cheerleaders for coming out and wish you best of luck this year.
Well, we've had the Maple Mountain High School Elevays and also the Maple Mountain Cheer Squad. We'll take a break here on Spanish Fork 17. When we come back, we'll recap the first half, take a look at our Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing keys to the game. At the half, Lehi 24, Maple Mountain 20. You're watching high school football on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Well, a pretty happy crowd tonight on a cool Friday evening for high school football. We've dipped below 60 here tonight as we get ready to go for high school football. Ryan Pickens and Lincoln Brown here at Maple Mountain High School, where the Lehigh Pioneers have a 24-20 lead over the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. And Lincoln, when you take a look at that first half, we wondered whether we were going to have a shootout or a defensive battle, and right now we're kind of content right in the middle. Hasn't really been a shootout, but hasn't really been a defensive battle either.
It's been a defensive battle, a defensive skirmish right behind an offensive skirmish. We've never haven't seen the outblow of either of the two, but what you've seen is some really solid football at times, but also some really sloppy football in terms of not keeping your head in the game and letting penalties get the better of you. So what I'd really like to see is if these two teams take the halftime to focus, come back in. If you're Maple Mountain, you want to take advantage of that overconfidence that's coming off of Lehigh right now. If you're Lehigh, you want to take advantage of the momentum you've got going in right now. Even with a 4-point lead, they've shown a lot of heart, particularly in those waning seconds of the second quarter.
Maple Mountain's had a couple of really good drives in that first half. They're able to really kind of get that offense going well. And we've seen Maple Mountain be a really good running team, with whether it's the quarterback draw play with Cameron Dorney, whether it's been Hensley Pay. But really tonight, it's been a little bit different show. It's been Cameron Dorney coming out and saying, hey, I can throw the ball too.
He has thrown the ball really, really well a couple of times, and I think that they keep mixing it up right now. Yeah, the ground games work from a little bit to get them a little bit of real estate, but really when they wanted the plays they've needed to put them on the board, it's been taking the ball to the air. And I think if they keep it with that mixture, tighten it up just a little bit, and settle down. You know, you can see these teams are getting a little rattled after each play when things start to tip one way or the other. A couple of deep breaths, and yeah, I think they'll be all right.
You take a look at Lehigh, on the other hand. We knew that really Lehigh could move the ball really well. They could go down the field. We haven't seen Dallin Holker tonight, who's been one of their biggest targets. But, you know, really when you're a guy like a senior wide receiver in Cade Moore, he's stepped up and really kind of shown, hey, you know what, I can answer the call too. Cade Moore's had a heck of a game so far for Lehigh.
These guys have played really, really well tonight, and I'll be interested to see what happens to them when we get to region play. You know, you also get the feeling Lehigh's been holding back just a little bit. They don't want to empty the tank before region play starts, and that's understandable.
It should be interesting to kind of see here how Lehigh responds in the second half. They're going to have the lead. Maple Mountain's going to get the football to open up the third quarter. And you just kind of look at it, Maple Mountain's not been a very good second half team this year. Is there something right now, if you're Ed Larson, that you're saying in that locker room to get guys ready to go?
Right now, if you're Ed Larson, you're telling your guys to throw up the defense a little bit. You know, they've been there a couple times. They've had some really good sticks, and they've had some really good coverage. But when it's counted, they haven't quite been able to muster what they needed. So I'd be telling his defense right now, let's sharpen up a little bit. And everybody, watch your penalties right now, because penalties are really telling a lot in this game, and they really are contributing to some changes back and forth.
Brad Burtonshaw and Maple Mountain right now. They have some minor adjustments to take a look at right now. If you're Brad Burtonshaw, what adjustments are you making right now in that Maple Mountain locker room?
Maple Mountain needs to settle down a little bit, I think. They've had some really good drives. They've put together some really good stuff. As somebody who covered football back in the day, I've been impressed with what I've seen out of Maple Mountain. I think they need to settle down, get their heads in the game a little bit, and just focus on where they're at right now. I know it's tough because you're getting ready to go into region play. That's when it starts counting. That's when it starts matters. But this is where you set the tone. This is where you have the momentum going into that first region game. And, I also get the sense maybe Maple Mountain's been holding off in this pre-regional stuff just because, again, they don't want to blow out the tank before they get into the games that actually are going to count for the playoffs.
It'll be interesting to see. We'll take a break here on Spanish Fork 17. When we come back, we'll go ahead and check some scores from the games throughout Region 8 and Region 10, and maybe a couple of the other ones that might be of important notice throughout the state. You're watching high school football on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Come to Dickerson Automotive for all your car repair and maintenance needs. Now is a great time to make sure your car is ready for these cold winter months. We take the time to get to know you and your car to give you peace of mind. Dickerson Automotive, located way north on Main and Spanish Fork.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Well, Maple Mountain has just taken the field here at Maple Mountain High School. The Golden Eagles fired up coming out of the halftime locker room right now, playing from behind. They haven't played from behind at the half the last couple of weeks. They've been up, but now trying to see if they can hold on to try to really get the lead back and get that first win of Region 8, or their first win of the season before Region 8 play begins. Let's go ahead and check some scores from throughout Region 10. One Region 10 game here in the local area to be concerned with, and that's Payson. They're at Mountain View tonight. Last score update we had was 7-3 Lions on top of the Bruins up in Orem. That one was back in the first quarter of what would be a big win there for Payson. The Lions trying to get their program kind of jump-started down south a little bit there. Some other big non-region games, Dixie. Dixie's been maybe a surprise team from St. George down in the 4A classification. Well, they're on the road in San Diego. They're taking on Madison, California tonight, and they're losing 10-7. That one in the second quarter. Springville, they get ready for Maple Mountain next week. Well, the Red Devils are at home for the Jordan Beat Diggers, and Jordan up 10-0 up the road in Springville. Provo, they're at home tonight for the Orem Tigers, a couple teams that are in region. The regions here with Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork. Well, Tigers up on top of Provo 21-6. That one was in the second quarter. You might be interested in this one, and this is one that here in Spanish Fork. It's all Falcons of Sky Ridge right now. It's 38-0 Sky Ridge at home against Spanish Fork. The Dons were looking really good, and Sky Ridge obviously just that one classification up, but boy, all Falcons at the half right now.
Well, and sometimes classification can change everything, actually. I know covering Uinta, classification changes made all the difference sometimes in between seasons.
And you may see that a lot more, especially we've seen Uinta the last few years here in Region 8, and they seem like they play really well at the beginning of the year. The later, though, you get with the travel and that, it just seemed like it was hard at the end of the season with players kind of staying healthy and staying, I guess,
Uinta's in a similar situation to Dixie. The Flyers are kind of out there in the hinterlands a little bit. Travel when you're that far away from the rest of civilization, as it were, that can be a problem. And Uinta's had some transitions these last couple of years as well, so they've had a lot on their plate.
And so that's something to kind of think about here right now. A couple other scores just to pass along. We were talking about Uinta. Well, it's Timpanogos leading Uinta 28-0 at the half. And then just like one other one here that people here in the local area will be concerned about. Wasatch leading Cottonwood 38-0. That one in the second quarter. So really, I mean, not really anything else really big going on throughout the state. But, boy, I tell you, Spanish Fork right now, that's not the loss that head coach Preston Parrish was looking for. A 38-0 gap is going to be tough, especially on the road against a 5A school like Skyridge.
So what is happening with Spanish Fork right now then? Are they just kind of taking a breather before region play starts, or is Skyridge just that hard on them?
Skyridge is one of those teams that was projected to finish at the top of Region 8. And so I don't know. We'll have to see obviously what's going on next week. Though Spanish Fork jumps into Region 10 play with Salem Hill. So whatever's happening right now up in Lehi will need to be hopefully figured out here in the next couple of weeks. Well, I guess you have 1 week actually.
You got 1 week.
You got 6 days. That's all they can give you.
6 days, and then it starts to count. But then again, on a certain degree, everything counts right now, and it'll be interesting to see how this one ends. Who has the momentum going into region play?
Be interesting to see here. Both these teams trying to get that same momentum right now. The Lehi Pioneers leading 24-20 as we start the third quarter. Maple Mountain will get the football. Back deep to receive. It will be that is Dawson Stokes and Hansley Pay back deep standing about their own 2-yard line. Putting a foot into it will be Wyatt Mosier, and we are just about set and ready to play football here in the third quarter. And we are underway here with a low line drive kick. One hops that goes past Stokes into the end zone, and that one will come out to the 20-yard line where Maple Mountain will start.
Now, it'll be interesting to see if Maple Mountain did settle down during the halftime, actually. Right now, this is a good start for them. I want to see if they manage to take it easy, get their heads in the game, get a little bit more focused right now, and maybe be a little bit more conservative. Let's see the ball in the air a little bit more, but maybe not take as many risks as they did before. Some of those risks paid off, but, right now, with a four-point deficit, maybe you want to be just a little bit conservative to start this quarter.
It's a one-possession game, and that's something I like the point that you bring up. You can't really get overly urgent to try to score right now because, one play right now gives you the lead. The quarterback right now, Dorney, will fake the handoff. Here's Pay in the backfield, gets the call, and Pay immediately brought down and dropped by number 54, Jace Anderson. Immediately got there and drops Pay at the line of scrimmage. It will bring up 2nd and 10.
There may have been some words in the Lehi locker room too. Meaning, it may be pre-region boys, but we got to be in business out there.
2nd and 10, ball on the 20-yard line here. 11:33 to go here in the third quarter. Just underway. Ryan Pickens and Lincoln Brown here with you at Maple Mountain High School tonight. Dorney from shotgun, ready to go. Drops back, looking, stepping around. Now trying to move out of the pocket here, looking downfield. Has a man. That pass picked up. Tried to kind of thread the needle, so to speak, and that one was picked off by Kashawn Rust. And Rust brings it back inside the 20 to the 15, and now Lehi back in business at 1st and 10 from the 15. The Pioneers here with a touchdown makes this a 2-possession game.
Lehi is definitely coming up playing like I remember them playing from days of yore. This is what I can remember. This was a typical Lehi game.
1st down and 10. Ball will be on the 15 here for the Pioneers after the Maple Mountain turnover. Cameron Dorney just kind of forcing one there into the middle, and that forcing it there kind of cost him.
Well, this is the time for Maple Mountain's defense to do that voodoo they were doing there in the second quarter.
Cooper back to throw, looking to the end zone, has a man and overthrew the intended receiver. That was Will Overstreet, who was looking for that back corner pylon, and Maple Mountain lucky there. Overstreet was wide open, and Cam and Cooper missed him.
A little aggressive there, which has been Lehi's problem several times in this game. You need to keep your head in the game, stay a little focused here. Just because you got the ball, but you got the momentum. Lehi getting a little excited on that one.
2nd and 10, ball on the 15-yard line. Lehi will once again spread the backfield. Carson Manukin, number 8 in the backfield, had a great first half. He'll get the call, tries to bounce it outside, tries to come back in, and will down to about the 7-yard line. Picks up right there around 8 or so on on second down, brings up 3rd and about 2.
What does Maple Mountain have to do to find an answer to Manukin, or is there an answer for Manukin right now?
I think the hard part is it's kind of pick your poison. You load the box, you run the risk of Lehi going over the top.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, so I don't know. I think it's kind of a pick your poison. It seems like right now the head coach and defensive coordinator, Brad Burtonshaw for Maple Mountain, is content with maybe giving Manukin some extra yards to prevent against that pass over the top. 3rd and 2 from the 7. The give is Harward trying to get to the end zone. Harward down to about the 2-yard line. And it'll be 1st and goal here for the Pioneers. And Lehi, almost 2 minutes in to the 3rd quarter, knocking on the door again.
Now, I would hate to see Maple Mountain give away another game in the second half like this. But as we have discussed, pretty well to death here. Your penalties can't cost you. And they had the opportunity to end that first half with a pretty strong lead. Unfortunately, there's been some of those penalties that are coming back right now and kind of poking their heads up over the top of things.
1st and goal from the 2-yard line. It will be Manukin in the backfield with Cooper. I would imagine you may see like an off-tackle run here from Manukin, and now whistles blow. And we'll see here. I think Lehi called the timeout. That's their first timeout here with 9:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. Not when you want to use a timeout in the 3rd quarter on a 1st and goal from the 2.
No, this is a little early to be. We're burning up timeouts right now, so you have to wonder what the discussion is going to be on this. I know that you would have been concerned about Lehi's defense right now, but going into the second half. But I'm kind of curious why the timeout gets burned up at this point and what they've got in mind.
I guess maybe if you're Ed Larson right now, you're not wanting to try to take any sort of chance here about having a wrong play call or something. I think it kind of gives you an idea, if you're Ed Larson, how important this touchdown and getting 6 points right now is if you're the Pioneers.
Well, Lehi got just enough of a bloody nose in that first half that I think they realized they needed to settle down a little bit and be serious about this. You're going to see a little bit more conservative play out of Lehi this time around, and probably a little bit more heads-up ball.
So it'll be 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. 24-20 lead right now for Lehi. Pioneers looking to try to see if they can extend their lead out to 30-20 with the ball on the 2-yard line. Manukin in the backfield to the left of Cooper. 3 receivers right now ready to go. Cooper back to throw, looking, back of the corner, end zone again. Couldn't hit his intended receiver as he was looking for Cade Moore, number 11, back in that deep back corner where he tried to hit Overstreet earlier.
That timeout may have been to tell the QB to settle his hash a little bit. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that happened right now. If you are Lehi, this is time to take it nice and easy, shore up a good solid lead, and right now, looks like he's just feeling the rush a little bit, or maybe just getting a little bit out of control. If that's the second time he's overthrown, he could have had a nice score.
I would imagine here, with bringing in that extra blocking back, we could see Harward just take it right up the middle. It's Harward on the carry, and he is dropped. Stetson Schumann, number 31, gets there immediately to make right there. Sorry, that's Austin Bingham, it looks like, getting there. That's Stetson Schumann, number 31, there and on the stop.
Lost a yard.
That's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 3.
That's a conscientious D that they played before that they need to keep playing on right now. They may, if they keep using their heads like that, be able to hold these guys just to a field goal.
It'll be interesting to see if Ed Larson here might roll the dice 4th and goal if they can't get it in here. Moody goes in motion. Here's the option play. Cooper trying to get it in. Stretches at the 2, and Lehi's trying to say touchdown. No signal yet. And I think...
Doesn't look like the refs are going to agree.
4th down is what the head referee there. And Lehi's about a half a yard. You can see it right there. I don't know. I think that situation you're going for.
4th and 1, you go for it right now. 4th and 1, you got, just under 9 minutes to go. You got plenty of time to deal with that if it doesn't work out right now. And it's not a bad place to get a punt from.
Cooper's probably just going over the top. Tries to get in, and he will. Touchdown, Lehi. Cameron Cooper in from a yard out, and the Pioneers go up 30-20 on Maple Mountain.
Well, Maple Mountain certainly has its work cut out for them at this point, but right now we'll see if they can manage to settle down right now. Let's work back and forth between that ground game and that air game, but here again, I don't know if Lehi just hasn't decided to come back and take the second half seriously, more seriously than they did the first, but I'm seeing some focus and some intensity in them I haven't seen.
Wyatt Mosier on for the extra point right here. Snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is through, and with 8:24 to go here in the third quarter, it's Lehi 31, Maple Mountain 20. So the Golden Eagles turnover comes back to hurt Maple Mountain. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
And we want to say thank you to the Car Guys sponsoring our instant replay that has served us well tonight, MVP Sports. And they'll give us your MVP of the game later on this evening. Great assist coming from Lance Wilson, your State Farm agent, like a good neighbor. That great neighbor, let's make that. Lance Wilson is there. Two Jack Pizza. Do they deliver? Because I could use a little Two Jack's Pizza right now, as a matter of fact. Triple D with a pregame preview, and Dickerson Automotive, a great drive. And McKell, Christiansen, Wise, attorneys at law. Great defense makes a great offense. And, we could have used Maple Mountain certainly could have used a great defense back there.
That would have been a big stop to come up with, but now looking to try to see if maybe they can put a drive together here with 8:24 to go in the third quarter. A 31-20 lead right now for the Lehi Pioneers. Mosier will put a foot into it from the 40. This one will go deep and will send the return man about 5 yards back, and Maple Mountain will bring this one out to the 20-yard line. Corey Huff made a nice catch, but you can't take it out of the end zone in high school football. You're starting to see more and more kickers be able to make that kick from the 40 into the end zone. Where
it's been interesting to watch how many people, it was maybe 2-3 years ago, somebody from Uinta managed to put it through the uprights from the 50.
And what I'm interested to see is if there doesn't start to become some talk about moving it back to the 30.
That may be.
Or the 35 to maybe open up that return game. But I know there's some player safety issues that they're wondering about too, maybe with kick returns. I don't know. I leave that up to people much more important than me. Here's the give as it's going to be Dorney who will lose a few yards there on first down. Lehi quick to get into the attack, and it will bring up a second and probably about 13 for Maple Mountain.
You're seeing a real sharp intensity out of Lehi right now. They're making some big plays, and that was an incredible sack right there.
Our Two Jacks Pizza, Two Jacks sack right there. Brought to you by the Lehi Pioneers. Bring up a 2nd and 12 coming up. Dorney from shotgun. Hensley Pace had a real quiet night for Maple Mountain. We haven't seen him try to take a screen pass or something where they haven't been able to get him out in space very much. Branson Blood goes in motion. Here's Dorney having to step up. Now trying to slip away. Now he's have to try to do something with it, and he'll be just escorted out of bounds. And right there, Cameron Dorney not having a ton of time right there to try to get rid of something down the field. And that will bring up a third down. He loses about 3. Erickson in there runs him out of bounds.
Well, Dorney is having a much tougher second half so far, and we're not even that far into it right now.
Loss of 3, and now Maple Mountain, you have to think, has to maybe look to go down the field here. Lehi's been content tonight to load the box and really make Maple Mountain take a shot down the field here. And even now in this 3rd and 15, the safety's playing about maybe 7-8 yards off the ball. We'll see if Maple Mountain takes a shot here.
I don't think they have much of a choice at this point. If they can keep the pressure off, it looks like they can. Nice reception.
Marcus Johnson's going to be about a yard shy of the marker out to about the 28-yard line. Cameron Dorney looks like there. He didn't really have a lot of time to step into it. Just kind of uses his arm strength there to get it out there to Johnson.
But, Johnson had a couple more steps he would have gone on because they're now 4th and 1 at this point. So he was almost there. A little bit more he would have had it, and that's really unfortunate because this will be a tough break for Maple Mountain. If they may decide to take it one more time at this point, although I might suspect a punt right now.
It's going to be Overstreet back deep for Lehi. He's at about his own 40-yard line. Crowman Hook, the punter, at his own about 14. Key got to get a good snap here, and Maple Mountain does. Lehi brings the pressure, almost blocked it. Overstreet over to about the 45. Tries to catch it. It's loose, and Maple Mountain's got it. I believe it was Corey Huff, and it was not Corey Huff. It was number 21. who immediately got there. Braden Hadfield with the special teams play right there, and now momentum shifts back to Maple Mountain as we'll see this one on the Car Guys instant replay.
At the Pioneer 42-yard line.
And you have to think bringing the pressure there really helped and aided Maple Mountain right there.
And it's been interesting to watch how things have shifted back and forth between this game and how quickly, the tide turns.
Maple Mountain football at the 42-yard line, 6:35 to play here in the third quarter. 4 receivers here on 1st and 10. From the shotgun here is the quarterback. They'll try to run the option. Here's Pay trying to get to the outside corner. He'll be tripped up. Before he can get there, he maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. A heads-up play, a nice pursuit there coming from that Lehi linebacking core. They've been busy all night. Maple Mountain really hasn't been able to get the edge.
No, they have not, actually, which is too bad because they've had some great opportunities right now. And we'll see. You were talking about them putting it in the air right now. This would be an opportune time to take that shot.
Ball at the 42-yard line. 6:01 to go here in the third quarter. Colin Reed, keep an eye on him. He's to the bottom of your screen. We'll see here if they try to maybe go there. Here's Pay right through the middle of that Lehi defense. He'll dive through and ends up getting a few yards. And looks like an extra defender there kind of jumping on the end of the pile there. But we'll bring up a 3rd and about 5 here for Maple Mountain. So an opportunity for the Golden Eagles to try to see if they can convert. And you have to wonder if you're Maple Mountain, if you get in a 4th and about 2 or 3, do you maybe roll the dice here and go for it?
Yeah, at this point it wouldn't hurt to roll the dice. At that point in the field, it'd be a good time to roll the dice on that. Because what do you got to lose at this point, really?
Ball's at the 38-yard line. From shotgun is Dorney. Gives it to Pay. Pay trying to get the outside corner. He's going to get the edge. A flag comes in, but it's going to be away from the ball. And it was a lineman and Cameron Dorney kind of going at each other there in the blocking game. And we'll see here who the penalty is going to be against. If it's again, it looks from first glance it's going to be against Lehi.
Yeah, against Lehi.
Personal foul against Jace Anderson, it looks like, number 54. Just from his reaction, he immediately looked to the ref and went, hey, what did I do? And then starts walking over towards the Lehi sideline. And so we'll see here how they mark that one off.
Well, a disturbing trend in this half is that Maple Mountain's opportunities have come from mistakes. And they need to be a little bit more cautious about what they're doing right now because you can't catch all of your breaks from the other team's fumbles or, in this case, once again, we're looking at another flag that's going to help Maple Mountain move down the field.
Cameron Dorney there, it looked like, was having a hard time deciding whether he was going to give that to Pay or whether he was going to pull it late, just kind of pulled his hands away from it.
That looked like they were going to take it in together if they had the chance. Sure about that.
1st and 10 from the 24. Here's the give. Pay right up the middle. He'll get another tough yard or two, and he's going to be thrown back. Getting there was Hayden Erickson, the senior defensive lineman, at 6'4", 255 pounds. Erickson able to get there and holds Pay at the line of scrimmage. Pay gets a yard, so bring up a 2nd and 9. You have to think here, Maple Mountain needs some kind of points on this drive, whether it's a touchdown, whether it's a field goal, something to make it a one-possession game. You'd really like a touchdown right now if you can get a nice Dickerson Automotive great drive going right here. They have one going here. We'll see if it ends up in points. Branson Blood goes in motion. 2nd and 9. Here's the give. Corey Huff right up the middle. Huff down to about the 20-yard line or so, and he's pushed back. But they'll give him about the 21-yard line. He'll get a hard kind of 2 yards right now.
Yeah, 3rd and 9 is what that brings up, which is really, really, again, why do they keep going up the middle at this point?
3rd and 7 right now. 3:38 to go here in the third. You have to think here, Maple Mountain, I don't know if they're trying to establish that run through the middle or what, but it hasn't been established too well here so far tonight. Here's a big 3rd and 7 coming up. Maple Mountain will go into the power kind of I formation here. Dorney under center. Pay and Huff the deep back, and whistles blow, and I think we're going to get a procedure call here against Maple Mountain. It came from I believe that's the back judge in the secondary, and be a delay of game against Maple Mountain. So that will now, instead of 3rd and 7, Lincoln, you're back in a 3rd and 12.
3rd and 12.
You got to throw it now again for Maple Mountain.
Yeah, and here again, they need to start developing an allergy to those yellow flags because they keep, they live on them and they die on them. Yeah, make up your mind, boys.
3rd down and 12. Maple Mountain needs about the 14-yard line here or so to move the chains. They need a. Going to have to probably take a shot. They're not really in a formation here to take a shot, unless it's some sort of play action. And it will be Dorney back to throw, taking a shot down the field. Has a man. Colin Reed, touchdown, Maple Mountain. Dorney to Reed for 26 yards out.
Well played, exactly when they need it, particularly coming on the heels of that penalty right there.
And I guess I should not question my basketball broadcast partner and offensive coordinator, Jerry Huffman. I'm sure he will give me a hard time for that one. But right there, he dialed up something nice there. It ends in 6.
Yeah, the offense is turning into a riddle wrapped in a mystery surrounded by an enigma at this point.
Maple Mountain looks like they're going to go for 2 here, which may be smart to get it back to a field goal. Maple Mountain's, though, is going to need to try to make sure they convert here. They bring in, once again, you got Pay and Huff in the backfield. Colin Reed in there is kind of a tight end. The pitch, it's Huff trying to get the corner. He's going to be driven back and knocked out of bounds. And Will Overstreet, the last man there to knock him out. And that's going to bring up, well, that will end that possession, but Maple Mountain has a Dickerson Automotive great drive right there down the field. They get aided by a couple penalties, but then it's Dorney to Colin Reed for the 2nd time tonight. And Maple Mountain right now in this one back down by 5, but you're in a position here in 5 where you're back to a 1-score game.
Exactly, and this is an opportunity. Hopefully Maple Mountain can capitalize on the overconfidence and some of the mistakes of Lehi, because we've certainly seen a lot of penalties. I don't think we're done with that yet. Just by looking at this game, it's going to be a game that's going to go back and forth quite a bit.
And right here, how important would it be for this Maple Mountain defense to force a turnover here on this next drive? Something where they can keep the positive momentum going. Once again, it will be Will Overstreet. And that is Jackson Harward back deep to receive. Harward to the top of your screen. Overstreet to the bottom. We'll see here where the Croman Hook kick goes to. Any minute now, and now Croman Hook approaches. And the kick will go right down the middle. Overstreet will go back to take it, but his back foot, they're going to let him bring it out. Overstreet across the 25 to the 30. Look out. Croman Hook, the last man to get him. Overstreet trying to get the corner. Croman Hook dives and makes the tackle at about the 27-yard line. But Will Overstreet almost took that one back. And I don't know if Overstreet's heel looked like, to me, it might have been back in the end zone. But we'll see. Ooh.
Yeah, his right foot was in the end zone still when he got that.
I don't know if that, I mean, the official has a better view and probably understands the rules better than I do.
Could well be, but he did have one foot in the end zone.
To me, I've always interpreted that as a touchback.
Yeah.
So with 2:31 to go here in the third quarter, Lehi back in business deep in Maple Mountain territory. They'll start at the 27-yard line. 3 wide receivers ready to go. Here's the give up the middle. Look out, flag comes in as Mahunin goes inside the 10 down to about the 5-yard line right there. Manukin once again showing a good kind of stingy back there, being able to very shifty, but the penalty flag is down, and I have a feeling this one's coming back.
And there's 2 of them down, actually. I don't know if it was 2 for the same penalty, or if they caught a second one as he got toward the end zone.
There's one down at the 11, another one back at about the 20. That's about the 27-yard line or so. Holding against Lehi. So they're both holding against the Pioneers. They're going to decline the one down at the 11, and they'll march it off from back around the 27-yard line or so, which will greatly there help Maple Mountain give a little more room to breathe here. And Manukin's run now taken off the board.
So the other penalty will carry
Well, I think what we're seeing right now out of Maple Mountain is a team definitely to keep your eye on. This is a team full of surprises, ending, non-region play. Even if they don't quite get the win on this, they're still going to end non-region play on a pretty high note.
It should be interesting. This is a kind of a dangerous team. They're starting to figure some stuff out. This is a team last year 0-5 heading into, lost their first 5 games, figured stuff out to make a semifinal run. And you're starting to see once again Maple Mountain doing the same thing here. Here's the screen pass. They set it up. Once again, that's going to be Cox on the catch. And Gentry Cox down to about the 30. The flag comes in late. And we'll have to see here where this one's going to go. Right here, the flag came in about the time that Cox got close to the original line of scrimmage, and we'll have to see here. And if you're Maple Mountain right now, this is the last thing you want to do is have. And given the idea here, it looks like it may be against the Golden Eagles. We'll see here what the call is. It's going to be a personal foul, face mask, offense. So a
Golden Eagles getting a football god smiling on the Golden Eagles again this time around.
A big penalty right there against the Lehi Pioneers, because now you've had 2 big penalties. Their Lincoln now has put you back, to the 44-yard line. We know that Cameron Cooper can throw the football, but Maple Mountain right now, if they can force a turnover right here, they could really have some good field position. Ball on the 44-yard line. First down and about 28 for the Lehi Pioneers. And now whistles blow. And we'll see here. I think there's an equipment issue with one of the Golden Eagles. I believe they're talking to, it's not West Bastion they're talking to. That's the other end. Right here. And now it looks like we got everything. Looks like everything got sorted out. And with 2:12 to play here in the third, second down and 28, I should say. They kept saying first and 28. Second and 28 from the 44-yard line. Cameron Cooper from shotgun back to throw with some time. Steps up, looks over the middle, has a man wide open. That's Moore. He's down to the 20, gets upended at about the 20-yard line. And Cooper Cameron quickly picking up about 25 yards, puts it in a 3rd and 2, and that's not what you wanted right there if you're Maple Mountain, but Cameron Cooper finding that open field right in the middle. You kind of feel like if you're an opponent coming up for Maple Mountain in Region 8, you may just see some air raid, throw the ball all over the yard and see what will happen.
I think so, actually. But Maple Mountain has turned out to be the team to watch. I have enjoyed watching them play, even when they haven't been able to capitalize on some stuff.
Manukin on the carry, gets inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line, and that will be a first down. Braden Hadfield on the tackle. The good news for Maple Mountain is next week they get to see a team in Lehi that runs a very kind of straightforward kind of triple option read offense. They can throw the football too a little bit up there at Springville, but it will be interesting to kind of see here how that matchup will change for Maple Mountain, where that might actually help the Golden Eagles defensively. Here's Manukin again, this time going for the pylon, and he's in there. Touchdown Lehi, and the Pioneers respond quickly here in the third, and it's back to a 37-26 lead for the Lehi Pioneers. Right up the middle, big hole there for Manukin to run through. He's got to be at over 100 yards tonight, easily probably approaching 150, I would think. Mosier on for the extra point. Snap down, hold is good, and the kick is through the uprights. And with 1:13 to play here in the third quarter, a 38-26 lead for the Lehi Pioneers. Not a position you want to be if you're Maple Mountain, but you're still in striking distance right now, Lincoln. Offensively, what's Maple Mountain have to do here on this next drive?
Maple Mountain has got to start going, they've got to stop going up the middle. I know that sounds really simplistic. It sounds almost elementary, but, the middle's not working for them. But they managed to put some good stuff together up in the air, and I think they need to lay off that middle a little bit. Also, they need to, they've had some opportunities to capitalize on some Lehi mistakes. It's a simple matter of heads-up ball at this point.
So now with 1:13 to play here in the third quarter, an opportunity here, and really one of those opportunities if you're Maple Mountain where you really need to try to get that offense going quick and try to see here, because it's a 2-score game right now with 1:13 to play in the quarter here in the third. But you need to try to get a quick score, but your defense is going to have to come up with a stop at some point here to try to get you back in this ballgame.
Yeah, unfortunately for Maple Mountain, they've shown some really bright moments in defense, but the defense has run a little hot and cold tonight as well.
So once again, it'll be Corey Huff, and believe that is Hensley Pay back there as well. So Huff and Pay back deep to receive. Bozier puts a foot into it from the 40, and we're back underway. And Hensley Pay takes it from about the goal line again. Pay trying to get outside, cross the 10, cuts up the middle to the 15, to across the 20, and Pay brought down around the 23-yard line. Maple Mountain blocking really well, blocking through the whistle there on that return, and the Golden Eagles will take it with 1:03 to go as we see the kick return there by Hensley Pay on the Car Guys instant replay.
Not a bad way to start this drive, actually. I kind of like the way he came out with that, and it could give Maple Mountain a little bit of the mo they need to get where they're going, but all things considered, good way to start the drive. Solid outing right out of the gate.
So the ball will be at the 24-yard line. Maple Mountain looking for some offense quick here to try to see if they can get a score back here relatively quick without a lot of time coming off the clock. Here's the give right through the middle. Hensley Pay, a penalty marker comes in, and Pay gets right now to about the 27-yard line right here. This game's starting to get pretty physical, and now a second flag coming in right here, and that one coming in really after everything was broken up.
Lehi looking like they're not really sure what it was all about. Not sure what they're, but Lehi doesn't seem to think that they're at fault at that one.
A couple of guys looking at each other just kind of going,
what? Why? Who?
And what I'm not sure of is what the second flag came in for, because the pile had already broken when that second flag came in. As we'll see the officials kind of huddle about it here with 55.9. I would imagine the second one's probably an unsportsmanlike penalty. That's a shot to the head against Lehi is the first one. And then the second one's going to be a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against Lehi. And so Lehi's had about 5 15-yard personal foul penalties tonight.
They have. This is just getting to be, you're seeing the more extracurricular activity at this point. Here's the problem, though, is, you keep seeing these penalties for Lehi. This is a great opportunity, particularly 5:59 to go left in the third. Look at their look at their field position right now. Maple Mountain really needs to capitalize on this at this point. Now's the time to get it in the air, and maybe a couple of runs up the middle, but let's get it up in the sky, fellas.
1st and 10, ball on the 42-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Dorney will try to take it here on the option. Now the pitch back. Here's Williams trying to get to the outside, and again, nothing going as Marcus Johnson, not Williams, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that will bring up 2nd and 10. And once again, nothing really going there, but it's hard if you're Maple Mountain because you have to be two-dimensional.
Yeah.
You can't just be one-dimensional, but it's been tough sledding tonight to get rushing yards.
It has, actually, and, up the middle has not served them all that well at this point. But we're down to 1 play left in the quarter, so we'll see what happens as we get quarter number 4 underway.
5 wide receivers, 11 seconds on the game clock. That's going to be a pass in and out of the hands of Marcus Johnson and almost into the hands there of Jackson Harward. And had Harward came up with it, there was nothing but pasture between him and the end zone.
They need to get their eyes off of that clock right now. They're in a good position to bring this back, but they're letting that clock rattle them a little bit. So a couple of deep breaths, go to your happy place and see what you can pull off.
3rd down and 10, ball on the 42-yard line with 8.6 on the clock. 38-26 in favor of the Lehi Pioneers. Maple Mountain driving here as we near the end of the third quarter. 4 wide receivers on the play. Dorney rolling out, looking down the field, throws a strike, diving is Marcus Johnson. He's got it, first down, Maple Mountain at the 30 with 2.7 to go. Dorney throws a strike there, and I say a strike because he looked more like a pitcher there than a quarterback.
It was a good pass, though, and, this is what they need right now. When we start the next 12 minutes, keep your eyes off that clock and just keep up with that pass.
The clock will expire there is that once they get the play set, they run the clock, and that ends the third quarter. At the end of 3 here from Maple Mountain High School, it's Lehi 38, Maple Mountain 26. The Golden Eagles are driving. Can they finish it off with points? We'll find out after the break. You're watching high school football on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Come to Dickerson Automotive for all your car repair and maintenance needs. Now is a great time to make sure your car is ready for these cold winter months. We take the time to get to know you and your car to give you peace of mind. Dickerson Automotive, located way north on Main in Spanish Fork.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate.
Start of the fourth quarter, and movement going both ways here against Lehi pointing Maple Mountain pointing Lehi, and this time we'll go against the Golden Eagles. They'll lose 5 yards on the illegal procedure call. Great to be with everybody Friday night under the lights here at Maple Mountain High School as the Golden Eagles at home for the Lehi Pioneers. Ryan Pickens and Lincoln Brown here for this one, as Maple Mountain trying to find a way to get something going here, down by 12 with 12 minutes on the clock.
You take the penalties out of this game, even with the penalties, it's been an incredible game.
1st and 15, option play. Here's the pitch. Hansley Pay trying to get the corner, cuts back inside, and again, nothing going there for Hansley Pay. You got to give Lehi credit. They've done a great job of outside contain. They've put a clinic on tonight of not letting those Maple Mountain backs get the corner. They've been forcing it back inside.
They've been excellent coverage on that, particularly along the sidelines. They are just watching for that. It'll be interesting to see when Lehi starts region play, when they really kick on the afterburners, what we're going to see out of that defense.
Next week, they'll be at home for Olympus. It will be the homecoming game for Lehi. Then they get back-to-back games at West up in Salt Lake City, and then back up to Salt Lake City the next week for Highland in their 5-game region play, which will be interesting to see right here. 2nd and 14 coming up. Back to throw. Dorney steps up, now trying to do something with it. Pressure from behind, kind of flips it to Pay for a first down. Pay will have the 20, and Maple Mountain a heads-up play from Cameron Dorney right there. As the pressure's about to get to him, he literally just kind of, more like a basketball pass there, just kind of flips it out to Hansley Pay.
Almost looked like a desperation move, but good job for Pay being where he needed to be, right when he needed to be there. That one pulled that one out for him.
Under 11 minutes to go, 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Maple Mountain here, even if they get, well, they really, at this point, need a touchdown. Field goals at this point really won't do you very good.
No.
Down by 12. 4 wide receivers ready to go. Dorney back to throw with some time. Tries to go to Ethan Nelson. That one incomplete as he threw it a little bit away from Nelson. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Maple Mountain. 10:36 to go here in the fourth quarter. 38-26 lead right now for the Lehi Pioneers. Lehi hasn't done anything unexpected. They've thrown the ball quite a bit, but has gotten a big help from the sophomore running back Carson Manukin, who's had a great ball game for the Pioneers.
And Manukin being a sophomore means he's still got quite a bit of time with his team, so it'll be interesting to watch him change how this team operates, particularly when he gets to a senior year.
2nd and 10, Dorney with the pump fake, going for Nelson, has a man, touchdown Maple Mountain, as it's Dorney to Ethan Nelson.
And just like that, we watch Maple Mountain put it in the air, they're right back in this ball game.
And that ball's been there. Maple Mountain has beaten Lehi deep multiple times tonight, and that pump fake right there did the job. A nice job there by Ethan Nelson, who him and Dorney for the first few weeks of the season were going back and forth in that quarterback battle, but boy, it seemed to work out well, moving Ethan Nelson out to wide receiver and letting him go work. Croman Hook on for the extra point here to cut it to a 5-point lead. Snap is low, the hold it gets down, and Kromenhoek puts it through. And with 10:30 to go here in the fourth quarter, Lehi 38, Maple Mountain 32. The Golden Eagles hanging in there, but now the defense really needs to stop.
Well, and here's the thing is that Maple Mountain has had some very solid defensive plays, particularly in the first quarter. They need to turn around. They need to bring that same mentality back right now, because at this point, they still got a chance to turn this one around. This is by no means out of reach. You know, with 10:30 to go, some good solid. Let's see that defense from Maple Mountain come back to what we saw in the first quarter. Some good things can happen for the Golden Eagles.
Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors here for making this broadcast possible. We got the Car Guys, MVP Sports, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, 2 Jacks Pizza, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Dickerson Automotive, and Mikkel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law. We thank everybody for making high school football and other sports broadcasts possible throughout our high school sports season, as it will be Marcus Kromenhoek to put a foot into it. Overstreet, who had a big kick return last time, back deep. They'll kick it away from Overstreet. This one goes about 9.9 yards deep in the end zone. No doubt they couldn't bring this one out.
No.
And now the Maple Mountain defense about to go to work. 10:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Maple Mountain needs a stop right here. If Lehi's going to score, you almost want Lehi to score quick, so that way you can get the football back.
That's exactly. They need to score right now. And if that's going to happen, of course, at this point, though, I've seen enough yellow flags out there. You got to write a national anthem for them. Hopefully these guys can keep that off of their backsides this time.
Cameron Cooper back to throw, looking over in the middle. He'll now pull it out, looks to try to run the other way. Crowther's going to chase him out of bounds. And Cameron Cooper there is able to get a couple of yards on first down, but nothing very much going on there. Maple Mountain right now, just if they can get one stop to give that offense an opportunity, but stops really on both sides tonight have kind of been at a premium. Both teams haven't really been able to get very many stops so far. 2nd down and 9, ball on the 21-yard line, so a pickup of 1 on first down for Cooper. Back to throw, gets it out to Mnookin out of the backfield. Mnookin there is going to get about the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. He'll pick up about 5, but now you're in a 3rd and 4, and you're in that big kind of 3rd down opportunity right now for Maple Mountain that you need to stop.
But it's good Maple Mountain was able to find a way to put a plug on Mnookin right there, you know, because we've been expecting him all night to have big plays like that. Good coverage by Maple Mountain's D. That's what we saw happening in the first quarter. I'm glad they're bringing it back, at least if you're a Maple Mountain fan, for the fourth.
So 3rd and 5, ball on the 25-yard line. Lehi looking to try to convert the 3rd down right here. Clock ticking right now, under 10 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Maple Mountain in a big need right now of a stop. Trying to remember the last time the Golden Eagles have gotten a stop. It's just been that kind of back and forth game. Cooper looking over the middle, has Cox for a first down, out across the 40-yard line. Gentry Cox, the junior wide receiver, makes the catch, and that's out to the 41-yard line for a Maple Mountain first down. Again, they just go back to picking through the middle of that Maple Mountain defense.
It was a little sloppy pass on behalf of the quarterback right there, but got the job done.
And the hard part with Lehi spreading the field, that's forcing a lot of those Maple Mountain outside linebackers, instead of being able to play in, they're having to go out, which is opening up a lot of green in the middle. Here's Mnookin right up the middle, look out across the 45. Mnookin's into Maple Mountain territory down to the 42. And Maple Mountain Golden Eagle down on the play. Back it around, and he's down on about the 45-yard line, trying to see, I think that's Carson Kay, number 74, and it is. So Carson Kay hobbling right now off the field with 9:10 to play. Lehi, though, into Maple Mountain territory at around the 43-yard line. Mnookin's had one of those games for the Pioneers that gives you a glimpse of how dangerous this Lehi team could be, especially in that region where they're going to have an opportunity to maybe finish in the top 1 or 2 spots.
Lehi has traditionally been a strong team, and it doesn't surprise me that they've got a player like Mnookin on there.
Here's the give. Mnookin right up the middle. Arm tackles from Maple Mountain, and Mnookin down to about the 34-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 8 there on first down. The hard part is a lot of Maple Mountain's tackles tonight have been trying to get him up on the top of the body, trying to kind of just pull him down by strength. And it's hard when you get Mnookin running hard. It's hard when you're trying to make that tackle up on the body there. You're going to have to hit him pretty hard to knock him down.
Once he gets his steam going, he's a tough thing to stop.
2nd and 3, ball on the 36-yard line. Cooper back to throw. Looks on the screen pass, has a man. That's good enough for a first down. That's Moore. Maple Mountain trying to strip the football. Moore will hold on to it, however, and get down inside the 30 to about the 26-yard line. That's good enough for another Lehi first down. The Pioneers driving here with 8:10 to play in the ball game.
Making the tackle was Alex Knudsen.
Alex Knudsen on the stop for Maple Mountain.
It's 1st and 10.
That'll be 1st and 10 from the 26, 8:04 to play here in the fourth quarter. Maple Mountain has all 3 of their timeouts. Lehi only has 2, something that could play a factor here as we get in the late moments of this one. Here's Mnookin. This time he's going to be hit and dropped in the backfield as Alex Knudsen again gets there and brings him down. And a big first down stop there for Maple Mountain. Now you just need a couple more like it.
Exactly right there. You know, they keep almost finding that answer to Mnookin right now, and they've had a couple of them, probably, you know, both out of Knudsen.
And right here, if you're Maple Mountain, you don't want more points given up. But if you give up a field goal, it at least keeps it a one-score ball game.
You stay in the hunt if you can keep them to a field goal at this point, which may be
taking a shot.
Nice.
That one in and out of the hands of the receiver. They threw a jump ball, Ethan Nelson against Jackson Harward, and as you will see on the Car Guys instant replay, Nelson got his hand on it, and Harward almost brought in the circus one-handed grab in the end zone.
Yeah, well, that would have been the nail in the coffin at that point right there, but they stay alive for at least another 7 minutes.
3rd down and 10, ball on the 26. We haven't seen Maple Mountain get a ton of pressure on Cameron Cooper tonight. This would be the sort of time you'd really like to see that defensive line pressure Cooper. Here's Mnookin, and a flag comes in. Now another flag comes in. Mnookin short of the marker on the far side of the field. And now we'll bring up 4th down, and we'll see here. We'll see what the flag is. Here, 2 flags on the play. Personal foul against Lehi. And then I didn't see it. Looks like there's only 1 against the Pioneers. I would imagine here if you're Maple Mountain, your choice really is to either decline it and have it be 4th down and about 4, but they're going to push Lehi back. It will move the Pioneers back to about their 41-yard line, and it's going to make it 3rd down, and that's going to be close to about 20. 25 it looks like officially here. If you're Maple Mountain right now, you almost, I think, want to just drop Pay and Hadfield back into coverage and make Cameron Cooper take a big shot down the field. A field goal doesn't kill you if you're Maple Mountain.
No.
It would make it an 8-point ball game, but it's at least in striking distance. However, a touchdown here puts this one not quite out of reach mathematically, but does put a lot of pressure.
On paper, it is still within reach, but in reality, though, you're looking at a much tougher ball game at this point.
3rd and 25. They're going to spread the field here. 2 receivers to the bottom, 3 to the top. Down over the middle. That one's going to be caught and complete. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Once again is Cade Moore. And that's going to bring up 4th and about 10. And we'll see here what Ed Larson wants to do. No signal yet that he's going to kick the field goal. It looks like right now they're going to leave the offense on the field. It's going to be 4th and about 9. And now officials timeout right now. Going to be called here. They're looking at Cade Moore, who just made the sliding catch. And I think they're saying there's a problem with his helmet. I think if he had grass in his helmet is what we're being told. You can tell right there he's having to kind of pick the grass out of it. That grass is pretty soft from the rain. We've seen that throughout the
There's a couple places out there it's almost been standing water. A few places down, not necessarily on the field, but in other parts of the arena area right now.
So 4th and 9.
This is a gutsy move on Lehi, and I don't know if this might not come back to haunt him a little bit here, but then again, it's entirely possible.
Cooper back to throw, looking for the sticks. Got a man, touchdown Pioneers, and back to Caden Moore.
Guts paid off for Lehi this time around, and then Ned just put this one just brushing the fingertips out of reach.
That is at least the 3rd time tonight that Cooper has gone back to Moore for the touchdown, and now it's back to an 11-point lead with 6:15 to go in the ball game. And that's a huge touchdown there for the Pioneers. Gutsy call pays off for Ed Larson and the Pioneers. Extra point is up and through with 6:15 to go in the 4th quarter, and Lehi leads 45-33 right here in the 4th quarter. Pressure goes back to Maple Mountain. The Golden Eagles need a score, and they need to score quick.
They need to score quick, and they need to score twice at the very least at this point. I mean, this is here again. You've got nothing to the offense on both of these teams has been just fantastic. But definitely defense is going to have to do a few things. And, you have to give some credit to Maple Mountain special teams.
So 45-33, the Golden Eagles back in a position where they need not just to get a touchdown somewhere in there, they're going to need to get a 2-point conversion as well. And then you're talking about now having to get 2 possessions.
Yeah.
If Maple Mountain scores here, Lincoln, you have to kind of think about the opportunity that they're going to need to get in the end zone.
They are going to have to get in the end zone here, but then again, you're also looking at a very aggressive Lehi team that's shown that they can pretty well track with the spread what Maple Mountain's going to do on the offense.
It'll be Mosher to kick. Back deep again. It's going to be Huff and Pay. And this one's going to go deep, and this one well into the end zone for Huff. They're going to let him, and they won't let him take it out. It will be a touchback with 6:15 to play here in the 4th quarter. So back to work goes.
And a flag.
And the last thing you want is a penalty marker on the field. It's really been a battle between the 2 quarterbacks, Cameron Dorney, Colin Reed, the receiver for Maple Mountain, and Cameron Cooper and number 11, Cade Moore. Those pair of quarterbacks and wide receivers has really been just kind of a back-and-forth ball game between the two, and Lehi has been able to make a few extra plays in this one. And we'll see what the conversation is here. For Maple Mountain, and this pushes you back, it's going to hurt, and now we're going to have a dead ball. Personal foul, looks like, against Maple Mountain, which now moves it half a distance. So I believe it's going to move it back to around the 10-yard line.
Not a deficit Maple Mountain can afford right now.
Golden Eagles need to score quickly here. They need to score quickly and often with 6:15 to go in the 4th quarter. 45-33 right now. 4 wide receivers on the play. Ethan Nelson, who has a touchdown catch to the bottom of your screen. Dorney is going to try to give it. Here's Hansley Pay trying to get outside. His best run of the night. Cross the 35, tripped up and around the 40. The ball comes loose, but they're going to say he's down. And a big play there from Pay out of the backfield. As a nice job there. It's the best run we've seen probably from a Maple Mountain running back all night long.
And Maple Mountain doing a good job on the recovery of that. That just about went into the hands of Lehi on that.
1st and 10, ball officially at the 40 after the 30-yard carry from Pay. First and 10, 4 receivers on the play. Colin Reed to the very top of your screen. Here's Pay coming out of the backfield. They like the screen. Dorney now looking downfield, looking deep. That pass picked off by Overstreet at the 35. Cross the 45, and he is going to be pulled down. The ball comes loose, and Maple Mountain, I think, got back on it, but it didn't go out of bounds before. A penalty flag coming in. The Golden Eagles had a chance, but the ball looks like it goes out of bounds, and it will stay with Lehi. We can't really necessarily see fully what happened because it happened right in front of the Maple Mountain sideline, but there just kind of put it over the top. Nice play by Overstreet. But then watch to the end here. I believe the ball knocked free.
And a handful of jersey on that play.
And it just goes out of bounds before the Golden Eagles can recover it. We'll see here what the penalty marker is, but Lehi with 5:29 to go, a touchdown here would definitely put this one out of reach. And we'll see here how they're discussing this one. It looks like they're going to mark it off against Lehi. Is what it looks like they're doing. They're moving the ball back to the 40. What I've not seen is the official call from the from the ref. Okay, I'm not the only one that didn't see that.
Yeah, everybody's still waiting to find out what the penalty was at this point.
I think it's a block in the bag. It's a personal foul against Lehi. And I would imagine that's something that Ed Larson's going to address this week, is the multiple personal foul penalties that they've had tonight.
If this game's been marred by anything, it's been marred by the personal fouls. And you know, both of those teams need to get rid of that attitude before they get into region play.
These kind of penalties in region play can very easily cost you a ball game. And really, you could make the argument that had Lehi not forced a couple of the turnovers that they've had, and really had the Maple Mountain defense got a couple of extra stops, that those penalties may have come back to really hurt Lehi. So we'll see here some of the discussion, I think, between the officials as to where the official spot of the football should be. They moved it back to the 35-yard line on the 15-yard penalty, but then some discussions, I believe, coming from Ed Larson and the Lehi coaching staff.
Not where they wanted to be, but still with 5.5 to go.
And again, now the whistles blow again.
Jumping the gun.
5:28, still not out of reach necessarily for Maple Mountain. It just gives you a much bigger deficit with less time, and really now you need your first turnover of the ball game. Cooper back to throw, setting up the screen. They get it out. Here's Manukin down the sideline, cuts back inside, and then he'll be brought down around the 42-yard line. Again, another gain of 6, and with 5:15 to go, the clock continuing to run. 45-33 here in the fourth quarter. And if you're Lehi here, would you be content just to kind of slow down a little bit and just keep it on the ground?
If I were Lehi at this point, let's run a little bit of time off that clock right now. Let's watch the personal fouls, and I would I'd let some ticks go off and maybe look for some moderate real estate gains.
2nd and 2, Manukin trying to get outside, looking for the corner, cuts back in. He's going to get about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. He'll be about a half a yard short of the marker, and he'll bring up a third and maybe a yard, maybe even, it looks like third and about a yard. 4:25, that clock continuing to tick for Maple Mountain.
Lehi going back to taking their time in the huddle right now.
The Golden Eagles next week will head to Springville to take on the Red Devils, the Region 8 opener. Lehi, they are back home for Olympus. 3rd down and 1. Cooper from shotgun. Here's the give right up the middle. Manukin has the first down, and he's going to get about a couple of yards extra. Stetson Schumann, number 31, getting in there on the tackle.
There's enough for a first down. It's 1st and 10 for Lehi. The ball is at the 48.
Ball moving to the 48-yard line here. 3:57 to play. Maple Mountain does have all 3 timeouts, but they're going to have to quickly here get a stop and really try to see. I don't know if right now is the time you necessarily go for the tackle, or maybe you start telling your guys, hey, if you get a chance, you try to rip that ball loose.
That's what, at this point, you're going after the ball.
1st and 10, Manukin right up the middle. Manukin able to get a couple of yards and then gets into the pile, still going. And, you just kind of see a rugby scrum right there. And they gave him, it looks like, another extra half yard. Now a flag comes in. And what I'm wondering is, because in high school football, at least, they don't have the mic, so you don't know. So oftentimes you don't get, personal foul of this number against this team. But it seems like a lot of these penalties are coming in on that offensive line for Lehi.
And this is something that both of these teams need to get out of the system before next week.
1st down and 10, and sideline warning against Lehi is what it's going to be. So they'll warn the Pioneer sideline. And next week's game for Maple Mountain, that will be another big kind of emotional week. It will be, Springville. It's, again, a big rivalry here at Maple Mountain and Springville between those two schools. And so that will be something to kind of keep in mind, too. Next week, you might get a couple of those early kind of excitement fouls that you might get, but then it becomes time where you have to try to see here what you can do. But definitely if you're Maple Mountain, though, if you don't have an opportunity to get back in this one, you have to take the positives out of tonight's victory for sure.
And there are a lot of positives for Maple Mountain to take away from this. We know we've seen some excellent change-up in the offense. We've seen some really good work from the defense. And this just may be end of the pre-region jitters. Or it could just be these two teams. You've got a very aggressive Lehi team and a Maple Mountain team coming into its own.
There's a screen pass, Moore loose again. He's got a first down, cuts back inside at the 35-yard line, and there's another big first down. Cade Moore down to the 31-yard line, and that's a dangerous combination, as we've seen that all night. There's Cooper to Cade Moore.
First and 10 at the 32.
Moore just having a nice job, a lot of real estate right there. A lot of green pasture, so to speak, and now it's first and 10 at the 32. 2:44 to go here in the fourth quarter.
At this point, this is a good time for coaches to start thinking about reviewing some game films. What are the takeaways going to be from this game as we get ready to go into region next week?
There's another carry there for Manukin. And Manukin's going to get another about 8, maybe 9 yards, be just shy of the marker. And the Pioneers almost getting to the point right now where Brad Burtonshaw and the Maple Mountain coaching staff have to start using timeouts.
Yeah.
Hard part is it's hard to use that timeout when they pick up 10 yards to carry.
Mm-hmm. And we got 2:23 left, or, getting down to 2 minutes left.
It's a 12-point game, so mathematically right now, a field goal still, and there's a flag, and would imagine this one's going to be against Lehi. Just with the way where the flag came in, maybe a legal shift against the Pioneers. That will be a procedure call. But if you can find a way to hold Lehi to a field goal, it's a 15-point game. Still doesn't put it necessarily out of reach. However, it's highly unlikely.
It is astronomically unlikely at this point, unfortunately. But stranger things have happened in this game, but it looks as if Lehi is content to make one more run at it at this point as we go below the 2-minute mark.
Under 2 minutes here to play in the fourth quarter. First and 15, Cooper back to throw. Looking, takes a shot towards the end zone. That one incomplete. As looking for, that was Moody, the intended receiver. And it brings up a second and 15 here with 1:45 to play. An interesting call there because it stops the clock on the incompletion.
Right.
I'm kind of surprised with 2 minutes left, up by 12, that you're taking a shot at the end zone. But definitely right there, going for kind of the, exclamation point, you would say. Second and 15, ball on the 26-yard line. Cooper back to throw. He'll give it to Manukin through the middle. Manukin still on his feet, gets tripped up and upended. And that will bring up a nice gain there for Manukin to about the 18-yard line. We'll see that one on the Car Guys instant replay. He's a tough back because he's not just gets a full head of steam, but all of a sudden he's so shifty one way or another. You try to go for the tackle, and he just kind of slips by you.
He has shown a knack for finding the holes in the defensive line all night tonight.
Third down and 7, ball on the 18, and Maple Mountain will take their first time out here of the half with 1:37 to go. Let's take a look here at next week, and let's see here. Our game here on Spanish Fork 17 will feature Spanish Fork, who tonight has not had a great night up at Sky Ridge. The Dons will look like, I'm going to say, I haven't checked the score in the second half, but I'll say the Dons have to try to recover next week against a very good Salem Hills team. That's one of those games where your first game in region, Lincoln, is a big-time game that you need to try to find a way to potentially have some seeding for region on the line there now.
Spanish Fork's had a couple of rocky outings so far in pre-regional play, but no, Salem Hills are not playing around with this one. and it's going to be a tough start for their regular season.
It'll be an interesting matchup for sure to kind of see two good quarterbacks in James Nelson and Carson Chaffel. Those two guys will go at each other next Friday night. That should be a fun one here on Spanish Fork 17. It kicks off 3 straight weeks where we will be with the Spanish Fork Dons, as we will have Spanish Fork Salem Hills. Then we'll have Spanish Fork taking on Payson on the 29th, and then Spanish Fork and Mountain View back on October 6th. I'm excited that's a home game, but I'm not going to lie. Going to the Bruin Bowl up in Orem is a lot of fun. You get to broadcast from this like bunker type thing. Boy, I loved it 2 years ago. I'm hoping maybe next year we get that game up in Orem, but who knows. And so 3 straight weeks, and really for Spanish Fork, when you take a look at this, Payson's a very winnable game. Mountain View is a very winnable game. Those are games, if you're the Dons, that you have to try to find a way to go win. For Maple Mountain now, it gets even a little more difficult. Maple Mountain goes to Springville to open up Region 8 play, and Springville is going to be a very tough opponent next week. The Red Devils, no matter what their record is, no matter what's happened so far in the season, they'll be ready to go for that one here. An extra long timeout, it seems like, on the field here.
Yeah, it's been taking a while. And I wonder what Maple Mountain's going to take out of this game going up against next week.
Well, and I think it's going to be interesting to see. I think the fact that you have maybe some offense ready to go should be kind of fun to see. But I'm interested to see here as this one kind of continues to go next week, how Maple Mountain's just mentally prepared. Here's Cameron Cooper trying to get outside, and Cooper will go down after gaining about a yard or two.
Cooper is the ball carrier. Joe Biesinger made the tackle.
Joe Biesinger on the tackle, and now Maple Mountain will use their second timeout here. That brings up 4th down, and so now decision time right now for Lehi, and I would imagine right now we'll see here. They went for it last time. Would not be surprised if they go for it on 4th and 9 again.
Would not be surprised for it, but then again, they've got nothing to worry about if they take a field goal from here either.
Minute 26 to play right here. If you're Maple Mountain, if say Lehi does take the 3 points and take the field goal, I imagine you're going for an all-out block right now. I mean, even with the field goal, it makes it a 2-score game. But if you go for the block here, Lincoln, and somehow you get lucky and you block it and say, you have a shot for some field position. But at the high school level, if you block a field goal, I don't think it's returnable.
No, I don't think it is either. But still, that is going to be a tough answer for Maple Mountain's defense at this point.
And Lehi's offense coming back onto the field here with a minute 27. So no idea right now that Lehi is going to take the 3 points. They look like they're playing for the first down. Ball game on the line right now for the Maple Mountain defense. Back to throw. Cooper looking down the field, taking a shot to the end zone. Has a man. And did he get in? Touchdown, Lehi. And it, I believe, was Gentry Cox, the receiver. And the Pioneers put the exclamation point on this one for sure.
Well, Maple Mountain has not been outplayed in this game. I think Maple Mountain just came up against a very strong Lehi team that probably didn't show them everything that they had, to be honest with you. But, some good takeaways for Maple Mountain from this, some really strong offense and some real bright spots in the defense as well right now.
Well, I think there was some, as that extra point is no good. It's blocked by the Golden Eagles with a minute 21 to go. I think a lot of people, when you looked at this ball game on paper, and I mean not to be pessimistic on my part or anything, but going into this one, you kind of knew with the way that James Nelson, Salem Hills, threw the ball in the second half last week. Just looking at this one, it seemed like this was going to be an uphill battle for Maple Mountain's defense tonight, just because of the fact that you're going up against a quarterback in Cameron Cooper, who is probably, I would say, top 5 in the state this year. I mean, I would say he's got to be up there. And an opportunity for Cameron Cooper, who will definitely probably end up going to a Division I school. you just kind of knew that it might be an uphill task tonight against that Maple Mountain defense. And I think they did a good job for the most part in limiting the big plays, but Lehi just did a great job moving the football.
Well, you get an impression that Maple Mountain is really a team that's in flux right now, and there is something definitely evolving here. It'll be interesting to see over the next couple of years what happens.
Mosier ready to kick from the 40-yard line, and this one's going to be a squib kick over towards the sideline. It will go out of bounds, and there is a flag down, of course, as the penalty goes, as the ball goes out of bounds.
Beginning to wonder if we're going to see a play in this game that doesn't involve a flag.
And so with a minute 21 to go, Maple Mountain, I believe, will get the football at the 35-yard line. The Golden Eagles here need to score quick, as they'll officially make the illegal procedure call for the kick going out of bounds. Maple Mountain will need to try to score quick here against Lehi. The Pioneers, for the first time tonight, look like they're just going to drop coverage, as I believe they have. Right here, a minute 21 to go here in the fourth quarter. Here's that one incomplete. Yeah. I believe he was looking down the slot for Ethan Nelson, but that one goes incomplete. Brings up a second down and 10. Ball on the 35-yard line. 1:17 to go here on the clock for Maple Mountain. Trying to end the game on a positive note here. 51-33 Lehi on top. 4 wide receivers ready to go here. Dorney from shotgun. Back to throw with some time. Steps up, looks over the middle. That pass is going to be picked off. Taking it back the other way. Blockers in front is, I believe, number 26. I believe that's Jacob Vasquez on the interception. And Lehi back in business again with a minute 6 to go here. And really the Pioneers at this point can just take a knee and take the victory back to Lehi. Cameron Dorney there tried to just kind of thread the needle there and just couldn't quite thread it fine enough, and that pass got intercepted. Nice job by Vasquez, the sophomore linebacker, as we'll see this one on the Car Guys instant replay. So, and Dorney just kind of throws off the back foot there a little bit. Nice job by Vasquez. Minute 6, and Lehi looks content just to take the knee. They're going to have Cameron Cooper take it from shotgun, which he will. He'll take the knee, and now he'll have to probably do that 1, maybe 2 more times, as the clock will tick under a minute. Maple Mountain heads to Springville next week. Lehi back at home for Olympus. It will be Lehi's homecoming against the Olympus Titans, as that new kind of region develops. An interesting region with Lehi and a lot of schools from the Salt Lake, from the kind of the Salt Lake area. 2nd and 17 here. Cooper again from shotgun. He'll take a knee, and this, I believe, will be the final time he'll have to take a knee. He's under 25. He'll take the knee, and that should do it. Maple Mountain, they'll start to shake hands here at Maple Mountain as Lehi gets it done by a final score of 51-33. The Golden Eagles just quite couldn't keep up tonight. Did some positive stuff, but at the end of the day, Lehi just put up their foot to the gas. We'll take our final break of the evening. When we come back, we'll wrap this one up and have our MVP Sports MVP of the game. You're watching high school football on Spanish 417.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Come to Dickerson Automotive for all your car repair and maintenance needs. Now is a great time to make sure your car is ready for these cold winter months. We take the time to get to know you and your car to give you peace of mind. Dickerson Automotive, located way north on Main and Spanish Fork.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Well, tonight at Maple Mountain High School, the Golden Eagles gave it a hard-fought battle with the Lehi Pioneers, but the Pioneers come in to Maple Mountain and will head out with the 51-33 victory. A good opportunity right here for Lehi and their final tune-up for their region play. Ryan Pickens alongside with Lincoln Brown as we welcome everybody in here. And Lincoln, when you take a look at this one, kind of one of those games we knew it was going to be a tough task for Maple Mountain to try to see if they could keep up with Cameron Cooper in this Lehi passing attack. And boy, Lehi really kind of lived up to the story here, being able to throw the ball all over the place.
Lehigh lived up to the story, certainly, but then again, when it comes to something like this, there's a lot of times when people are going to want to say, well, Lehigh's going to get this one going away. To Maple Mountain's credit, they did not lay down and die. They played some really solid ball, and I think hopefully this was a shakedown cruise for Maple Mountain just to get ready for region play. But, you know, despite the fact they couldn't capitalize on a couple of things, there is no reason for the Golden Eagles to hang their heads after a game like this.
With Lehi tonight, it was the big combination of the quarterback Cameron Cooper, the wide receiver Cade Moore. They hooked up on, I think I counted at least 3 times in the end zone tonight for touchdowns, and really Cameron Cooper threw the ball all over the yard. But really, I think one of the players really to keep an eye on if you're Lehi, and you mentioned it earlier, Lincoln, was the sophomore running back Carson Manukin.
Manukin was very impressive tonight. He shows not only a lot of strength and a lot of steam, but he's also got that eye to be able to find the holes and thread the needle on that. And given the fact that he's a sophomore, that's going to impact this program for a long time to come. That's somebody whose career you're going to want to follow up through Lehi and on to wherever he goes to college.
It'll be interesting to see because Lehi is a very big, heavy throw-the-football team this year, but you mentioned it, they could be very much more of a run team the next couple of years with Manukin. When you take a look at this for Maple Mountain now as we shift sides here, the Golden Eagles came in 0-4, looking to try to see if they could, you know, really kind of maybe get something positive started. And I think it's kind of hard when you look at the scoreboard in this one tonight because obviously you never want to take the loss, you never want to lose. But if you're Maple Mountain, though, there's some positives I think that you take out of this game tonight, a lot more improvement, and that's what you really wanted, I think, if you're Brad Burtonshaw and Maple Mountain. You always want victories, but you want improvement getting ready for region.
They've had some tough losses, you know, in pre-region play, and they've had some heartbreaker losses as well, and you know, at least one that was pretty rough. But I think what you've seen is, as you called it, a good preseason tune-up or a good pre-region tune-up. And, you know, Maple Mountain, if not this year, then certainly in the next couple of years, is definitely going to be a force to be contended with in this division.
It'll be interesting to kind of see. Maple Mountain had a nice combination tonight, hook up a couple of times, and quarterback Cameron Dorney and our MVP Sports MVP of the game, Colin Reed. That was a great passing attack tonight for Maple Mountain. They were able to kind of get that going, but really that's what Maple Mountain needed. They needed to find the passing game to go along with the running game, and they might have just found a new combination in Dorney and Reed.
I think they found a great combination in Dorney and Reed, and I also think that you're going to see that evolution of the passing game a little bit more. Now that they've seen they can take on somebody like Lehi, is traditionally a powerhouse, and all things considered, you know, the scoreboard isn't telling the tale. They held their own very well against Lehi Pioneers.
Maple Mountain heads into Springville next week, and the Golden Eagles now it counts. Now it's playing for playoff position. What does Maple Mountain have to do next week to kind of get off to region play in a positive way?
Maple Mountain needs to, once again, Maple Mountain needs to settle down. They could have had this game a couple of times if they'd have kept their heads in the game. You've got a lot of talent on there. You've got a quarterback that's calling good plays. And they need to work on that passing game a little bit, and they just need to settle down and focus. Maybe it was just because they were playing a team like Lehi, but honestly, I've seen there's so many yellow flags out tonight, I wanted to pledge allegiance to them at that point.
It'll be interesting to see. Maple Mountain heads to Springville next week. We want to congratulate Colin Reed on our MVP Sports MVP of the game. We want to remind you that you can catch replays of this broadcast and our many other broadcasts on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. Also, please follow us on our other social media pages outside of YouTube, Facebook at facebook.com/SpanishFork17 and Instagram at SpanishFork17 to keep up with the latest shows, live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Next Friday night, we will have another high school football game, as it's hard to believe we'll get into the second half of the high school football season. I don't know where the first half this year went. As Spanish Fork heads to Salem Hills, the Dons will end the Skyhawks in what will be a key Region 10 game. That could be a game, when you take a look at it, that decides second or third in region, which could come back to decide who gets a home playoff game or who has to go on the road in the playoffs. It should be a fun game. Hard to believe we're talking playoffs already. 5 games left, though. We'll be in the heart of the playoffs. Well, we're going to say so long for tonight. For my partner here on the broadcast tonight, it was great to have you here with us, Lincoln, tonight, filling in for Chris, of course, who is on the other side of the country right now, hopefully having a good time.
Yeah, but is he running with the Bulls, or what is he doing in Barcelona at the moment?
I don't really know. I know he's in Barcelona. I'm sure he's having a great time, but we'll try to get a recap on Barcelona next Friday night. For our entire Spanish Fork 17 staff, I'm Ryan Pickens signing off tonight from Maple Mountain High School, where Lehi comes out on top by a final score of 51-33. We'll see you next Friday night from Salem Hills here on Spanish Fork 17.